They said it would never happen. They said it could not be done. They said it would suck if it did happen. I'm here to say Marvel and DC about to prove everybody wrong because the announcement has been made. It is official. It is happening. The two titans of comics are once again joining forces. That's right. Marvel and DC announced a brand new crossover, and I could not be any more excited. This is going to be crazy. And joining me today to talk about this and all the gangbuster, blockbuster news that has come out of Comics Pro are, of course, Tyler. Tyler's here.
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome. And a special guest. We had to bring in the big guns for this one. We went and got the biggest gun in our arsenal. The Casey Jones to our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We got our boy BJ Kicks wearing the dad hat. I love to see it. BJ, how you feeling on this morning, man?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. You were talking about two titans in comics crossing over, and I just knew you meant comics are dope and the Pause Pals, but apparently not. But I'm very excited to be here. It's always fun.
Well, BJ, you are speaking with, I don't know if you know this, you are speaking with the Winter Soldier right now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yo, like doing that in February is just nasty. Like,
Yeah.
You already slow. You're already slow.
Come on. And we'll get to it. We're talking about a book coming out in June that might have Sean excited later.
you couldn't wait like a week and a half, dog. Like,
No, I feel like the timing couldn't be better. Actually, I think
Jeez.
it's perfect. Oh man, okay. Thank you for being here with us, whether you are live or in the future. Make sure you smash that like button. In addition, make sure you check out Comics Are Dope. By now, you've seen BJ with us. You know Comics Are Dope channel. It's a great channel, my favorite comic book YouTube channel. Check it out. If you don't know BJ, you're about to know. It's going to be a fantastic conversation. Let's waste no time. Um, Comics Pro is an event. It's really a retailer event that happens every year, and the idea behind it is to kind of generate excitement with the people who buy comics. Not you, the listener, not us, the retailer, because retailers are the ones who buy comics and then sell them to us. So the event is designed around getting them excited. We always talk about it. Typically, there's like a cool thing here or there. A lot of like events get announced there and stuff like that. And before this announcement was made, we already had a laundry list of things to talk about.
Sean already had the notes for the show, and I had to be like, Sean, one more thing.
And yeah, Tyler had to say that. I was never going to notice it.
Well, gotta be on it.
Yeah. This this blows me at least out of the water. Granted, I'm on record as saying I believed it would happen because Dan Didio wasn't at DC anymore. He was the gatekeeper behind Marvel and DC not working together anymore. The last time they did it was just before, I believe it was just before Dan's tenure as the head honcho at DC. And of course, now here, what, 3, 4 years removed from his ousting, we're getting it again. BJ, did you ever think this would happen again?
no, I mean, honestly, my hopes were just up for the JLA Avengers reprint, and I had even considered like new crossovers to be in the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I've been on the record of saying something. I don't remember what I said. When these shows end, it's all out the window for me. I think Sean
All
remembers
right.
though.
I have a memory like a what who has a good memory? Not turtles.
Elephants.
Elephants,
Yeah.
yes. I have memory like an elephant, all right? And we did a show. It wasn't even the main show. It was about does anybody care about a Marvel or DC crossover anymore?
Oh yeah.
One of those videos we do. And I pitched a Marvel and a DC issue, a Marvel issue, DC issue, one written by Jonathan Hickman and drawn by, I think I said Dan Mora or George Jimenez, and then the Marvel side written by Mark Waid with art by Pepe Larraz. And the boy over here, Tyler, said he didn't like that. He didn't want that. He don't want it. On Discord, though, he's open. He's open off pitching the same exact idea in our Discord.
Just because I pitch it doesn't mean I want it still.
I would like those creative teams switched. Well, I like Mark Waid and Marvel, and I like the writer's choice. I would rather see Dan Mora draw the Marvel stuff and Pepe Larraz draw the DC stuff, if that's the pitch.
Sorry, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
my bad. Yeah.
Swap them, yeah.
Hell yeah. That oh god, dude. Imagine, like, I don't know if this was real or not, because with AI now, but I saw a picture that purported to be Dan Mora drawing Spider-Man.
Dan Mora has done some Marvel stuff. It was way back when, like, he was doing remember the WWE book he was doing?
Yes.
This is back when he wasn't, like, as high profile, but he was still doing some damn good work. I think there's a couple of stuff. I think he's done a little bit of X-Men too.
I was
but
just
not too
reading a Daredevil trade. Dan Mora was doing covers during the Mark Waid run.
Yes, I think
Charles
Soule. Yeah.
Okay.
Man, everyone
Wow.
good works on Daredevil. Jeez.
Well, the piece of art was beautiful, and it made me want more Mora on Spider-Man and other characters. So the door is open for that to potentially happen. Let's talk about the way this broke down. And, like, guys, when we say we have so much news today coming out of Comics Pro, in addition to this, it's ridiculous. And so this is going to be a big show, maybe one of the biggest we'll do. And I'm so glad to see everybody that's here with us. Gonna be shouting you guys out. We've got super chats coming in already. I'm gonna get to them, but first let's dig in a little bit on this massive announcement. Super chats are open. Smash the like button. You guys know the drill. Here we go. So Comics Pro 2025 was already going great. I think Marvel, they had one of those presentations that's like, okay, Marvel, they said some things, they announced some stuff, Spider-Girl, stuff that we'll talk about later, right? And then DC was kind of like, hold my beer, and DC blew the roof off Comics Pro, and we're going to talk about their announcements later. But what was crazy was that yesterday, CB Cebulski and Marie Javins, editor-in-chief of Marvel and DC, respectively, joined the stage together to make the announcement that this crossover was on the horizon. Now, it was reported first by Heidi McDonald, of course, from The Beat, love The Beat, that this crossover would come. We don't know, they didn't give any details, so we don't know anything about creative teams. I don't even know that we necessarily know anything about a time frame other than that it would happen this year. And so obviously that gives us plenty of time for this to materialize. But that's it. That's all we know. Now, if you ask me, the writing was on the wall when JLA Avengers reprint was taking place. So in a roundabout way, we can thank one man for this.
It's George Perez.
Exactly. There you go. Thank you, George Perez. One last gift, brother. Thank you. Go ahead, Tyler.
It's interesting because it was cool. It was like I saw on my Twitter feed just like Marie Javins and CB sitting next to each other at a table. I'm like, what is this? Because there was no art for this, so a lot of the headlines couldn't post images for this. So I'm like, what are those two doing? And then I looked into it. I'm like, oh. First of all, CB's looking great, by the way. But it was interesting just seeing like them work together. Like in my mind, it's just they're just so owned by other businesses that I didn't think it would happen. It just doesn't seem like anything that would really benefit either side. It benefits comics, but I didn't think either were really caring to. I don't know. I don't know. I was really pessimistic about it. But we don't know how this is going to happen. But either way, it's going to be pretty damn cool.
It does. I will say, like, it feels like there's no incentive for them to do it, really, right? Like, in the same world where X-Men comics sucked forever because Fox owned the movie rights, it's weird that these two companies would team up to put comic stories out.
The only incentive really seems to be to help retailers and pop a huge number, which I guess makes sense that it's announced at Comics Pro.
It cleared some of that PRH debt from Diamond.
Sure, yeah.
So I have to say, we talk openly and honestly about the big two here all the time. And one of the things that we talk about is what is their responsibility to the rest of the industry? What is their responsibility as it relates to keeping keeping the comic space healthy? It lives and dies by them. The industry of comics, that is. We know what a seismic shift it was for Diamond just to lose DC, and how if it wasn't for that, a lot of things would be different right now, regardless of how you feel about that. That's just what it is. And we understand that comics at the moment are in a bit of a weird spot. We need something big. And so, what the big two have done is they've come to the table together and they're looking at a landscape in comics that says, hey, you know what? We could use a shakeup. We could use something to get people together, to get people back in stores, to get people caring again. This is the kind of announcement made now. Forget about 20 years ago, forget about 30, 40 years ago. This is the kind of announcement that made now in 2025 reaches way outside the comic space. Because Marvel and DC crossing over hasn't happened since the real explosion of superheroes. That's crazy to think about. The MCU was born and exploded since the last crossover. That's a big deal.
I wonder if they play with that a bit too. I mean, we don't know how this is going to be. Is it going to be an anthology? Is it going to be a jam issue?
Right, because it's two one-shot comics.
Yeah.
It's two one-shots. One is Marvel DC, and the other is DC Marvel. Notably, not that I haven't seen, and obviously nothing is official, but they're not called verses, which I like a lot. Like, this is just speculation. We don't know anything private, but presuming that these are the actual official titles and they're not versus series, I'm way more interested in them actually doing something narratively interesting rather than just like, oh, let's just have these guys fight.
Narratively interesting in what way? Would you want two issues that connect to each other until one story, one big two-issue story, or would you rather quick little, like, I don't know, Chip Zdarsky writing a Daredevil Batman story, a quick two-pager? How do you see that in a way that makes the most appealing to you?
BJ, why don't you answer that one?
Yeah, thinking about like how the rest of them have been done. Give me two distinct narratives, right? Like, I guess one where, I don't know, the Trinity ends up in New York somehow, since that's where most of the Marvel heroes are based. And then one where, I don't know, I guess the other one is like the Flash has to like run and like put a hole in the universe, and all of a sudden he runs into the Marvel universe and then tells his friends to come, right? Like,
He gets shin splints on the cosmic treadmill. Something bad happens.
right. But to me, it's got to be two one and done stories. Because trying to mash up that many characters for like, and put that many creatives in, if it's only going to be two issues, and I'm assuming they're going to be oversized, right? Like, at least 40 pages. I'd love it. They were like 80-page giants, both of them. But if they're only going to be like standard comic issues, it's got to just be like, give me all the hits real quick.
Oh, you already know. First of all, you already know we're paying the Hickman tax, okay? We're paying the crossover tax, the event tax. We're paying a Marvel tax and we're paying a DC tax. Because one thing about these two companies, Tyler mentioned they're owned by mega companies. One thing about them is they're going to get their money right. And they're not doing this ain't charity. All that bullshit I said before about they want to come together, like, yeah, that's great. But there's green on the table and they're gonna take it all in. So what's the price? I don't forget the creative. What's the price? What are we talking about? $10.99?
Yeah, we're in double digits for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a $10 book.
Yeah.
I'm surprised if it's 12, but 9.99 it's at least.
I paid $9.99 for God's number one. Okay. I have regrets. I will easily gladly pay. I'll pay 9 to 12.99 for these one shots and not bat an eyelash. I do not care.
You're not even factoring in variants. Because
Oh no,
the variants are going to go insane on this.
Bro, let me get that big Barda Saturnine cover. That's the
a
crossover
little too
cover.
specific. I don't think Saturnine's making it to the Marvel DC crossover. I'm sorry.
Ah, shit.
Already
Damn it,
have
Tyler.
like what?
All right, let me answer the question that Tyler posed, though. I personally don't want like a series of stories told by different creative teams. As much as I believe that everybody would want to get in on this, and I would love to see everybody get in on it, this format, I just don't feel like it lends itself well to that. And it would just be a retread in a lot of ways, like just pairing characters off with each other or whatever. I just feel like we've seen that. Comics have evolved so much from the last crossover. I would like to see something a little different. Um, but I also feel like 2 issues is not enough to tell a big story. So how do you do it? I don't know. And this is one of those times where I just want to be a fan. Like I just want to see what they do, and I think I'm gonna be happy with whatever it is because it's like this is a moment. This is the only time in my time reading comics that this has happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you because it's like in terms of the format that we know about being 2 issues. We don't know how long. Got to be huge, but only two issues doesn't leave too much room. You can tell, I guess, a decent story if they're two giant size issues that cross over. Like, oh, now then Marvel has to go over to the DC universe in the second issue. But there's a part of me that kind of almost wants like a jam piece, just so everyone can kind of do their thing. Like, I would love to see Bendis write something quickly, about Spider-Man, and I don't know who else has he tackled. Superman, okay, maybe not that. But like kind of tackle that. Like if Hickman wrote a quick Legion 2-pager or something, that interests me a lot. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, I hope this is more of a trial run for something bigger. If this works out very well and they're open to it, I wouldn't be surprised if they could do some kind of event that would really break things, a year or two down the line.
Gotta imagine, right? They go through all the loopholes, jump through all the hoops to make this happen. The door's got to be open for more of it, right?
Especially if it does super well for them, especially like press. Like this will be stuff that'll probably like make the news when it comes out, like not front page, but like in the little fluffy parts of the news that people like.
The question is, to me, how long does that momentum last, right? Like we're
Yep.
all gonna flood the shop to get at least the first one of these. I'm definitely getting the second one of these. But then let's say they do the amalgam thing again, right? Like there's a reason those books had been so abundant. Like people weren't buying them as much then. The novelty did wear off fairly quickly. Like how long do you keep the racket going?
If they weren't doing that in the 90s, they're not going to be doing it now.
Right.
Well, I don't know if an amalgam will ever happen again. I think then that obfuscates things a bit when you mash the characters up in terms of brand recognition. But I mean, And then did they say would be in the summer? Did I read that somewhere?
Every article that I've seen doesn't give any
Okay.
detail about
Okay.
when.
It's got to be September to
That's
me,
DC's month. Yeah.
because it's like you got to get enough sales in for the last quarter of the year. And if they were going to do it this summer, there would at least be some teaser artwork with the announcement. Like something would have been done.
Summer feels soon. And they both have we know already that they've got events that will be rolling through the summer. So maybe after that would be a good time to launch this kind of project.
Like a New York Comic Con launch. That'd be huge.
Somewhere in that
Right around
space.
there. That's
Somewhere in
right
that
around when
space.
All In and Absolute launched. So DC likes that. Marvel doesn't really seem to have like a sweet spot they like to release stuff in. They just shotgun blast it. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
This conversation has so many tentacles to it. Like I there's so many possibilities, and like my fan brain is going in overdrive right now with all this stuff. And so before we continue, I do want to say thank you to MP, who became a Comics Pal sidekick earlier before we went live. Thank you so much. Matt Fisher dropped 19.99 on us and says, "Oh, new guy. Sean, where's my song? Boo. Until Sean gets deprogrammed by a cosmic cube, make mine the Comics Pals." Thank you, Matt Fisher. I won't be singing on this podcast for anything less than 100 smackers.
Don't put a number on it, Sean.
Why not? It worked on Thursday. I put that post up, by the way. That Snowbunny Deep Dive went live yesterday on the Patreon.
Oh, I know.
Patreon.com/comics for free.
There's a very specific song I feel like Sean's going to sing.
What's that?
Oh my God, you're going to make me sing it?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember BET Uncut.
Oh, yes.
Like the worst music of your life at 3 a.m. right before they start playing like the Preachers for whatever.
Yeah.
Just in
This is what Cale feels like.
Right? I mean, now you need that gospel, right? After you just watched, anyway, go ahead.
So that it's like just low budget, raunchy music videos. And there's this one, and it's white girls going through my mind. Like that's clearly Sean's theme song.
Do you know that song is not about women at all?
Really?
Song's about cocaine.
Yeah, going through your mind. Yeah.
I know the Jeezy white girl song is about cocaine.
That song is too.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Love it. I don't love cocaine. Holy shit, that came out crazy.
I mean, it's fine. We have party culture now, Sean.
I've never done it. I would never. Dude, I have asthma and I have like impacted nose. Like I'll die. Matt Fisher with the 199. Will we get Darklaw, Bruce Wayne, Agent of Shield? No and no. I don't think.
I don't think we're getting any kind of amalgam stuff anytime soon. Plus, I don't even know what the logistics of the rights are for that. Who owns that stuff? That was like one of the issues with like the potential reprint, but I guess they figured that out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think all those issues are out the window because the companies have decided that they're going to make it happen. But still, I don't think we see those things just because like they did it already. I don't think there's a reason to do this again if they're going to do what they did because those things are on stands. They just reprinted it. Rami Darwish with the $5. Batman versus Wolverine by Jonathan Hickman and Jim Lee.
That's a good question. Is this just going to be? I don't know. I guess they already announced it's DC versus Marvel, so it's not going to be one of those like singular characters versus singular characters things.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Jim Lee's not done drawing Hush 2. There's no way he's drawing story pages in this crossover.
Like we'll see a cover, maybe two from Jim because how do you not? But how much time is that going to take away from Hush 2? Like how delayed is this book going to be?
They announced the Jim Lee variants of the crossover omnibus and amalgam, and they couldn't get out for it when they announced it. It was like not final art. Um, I saw like on Instagram he was on a cruise and having to draw on the cruise by using the window as a light box. I'm like, all right, humble brag, Jim. Okay, you're on a cruise, cool.
Until we see the pages, and it's like, God, it looks like
Yeah.
this dude on a cruise ship or something.
Tyler, do you think that's the coolest thing Jim Lee does is go on a
No,
cruise?
but it's just like, oh, look at me. I also work while I'm on a cruise. Okay, all right.
Just plan your life better, dude.
Yeah,
Like, there's no reason to be on a cruise ship.
get a
trying to draw
scheduling
pictures.
app or something, buddy.
Dude, you got to listen to Rob Liefeld, his podcast. He talks about what it was like to work with Jim Lee back in the day. And he said that, like, Jim Lee would go to the office at like 2 in the morning. And Rob was there for whatever reason. Or rather, they would get on the phone. They would get on the phone, and Jim would talk all night while he was drawing. This dude is insane. And I like it.
Sending Rob a you up page.
Thanks, Red Spiral, Spiral Storm, for the 5 spot. Wonder if Batman and Spider-Man will have a moment together talking about how Catwoman and Mary Jane left them. And you know what, Spiral? In that conversation, it's weird. They both were left for guys named Paul. It's crazy.
Speaking of guys named Paul, I just finished the Zeb Wells Spider-Man run. I read the last trade last night. It was fine.
Okay, good. You're on our side.
It was honest. It was good. I
Yeah,
dropped
yeah.
out at issue 50 because I was just like, all right, there's just too many shenanigans, too many open plot threads, and I'm tired of trying to follow it all. And then I read volume 11, the whole Green Goblin saga, and I was like, oh, that wrapped up nicely. But that volume 12, that whole Tombstone finale, epic. It was
Hell
great.
yeah.
Loved it. If that had taken place over the course of a year, like a normal comic would have, Spider-Man might have been one of the best titles of like 2025 because it'd still be going.
Well, this reminds me, like, we'll probably get a Ramita variant to these crossovers too. I love Ramita.
Oh, yeah.
Probably get a
Oh,
Frank
yeah.
Miller variant too. He's still doing stuff at Marvel.
Everybody who draws, their mouth is watering right now
But
because the paydays for this are
Yeah.
going to be ridiculous.
Are they?
And well, I think so. I do think so. For people, for the upper echelon creators, yeah.
the paydays in terms of what the companies are paying them, or in terms of
Yeah.
the sales for the books.
I think to get somebody like you're gonna have the elite of the elite coming for this, and those guys and gals are getting paid. Peach, Alex Ross, Frank, Ramita, they're all coming to get their bread.
But it could also just
Peter's
be like
getting his-
they
that's
can.
what's getting read.
I feel like they can pay you less because it's this book because they know people want to be on it.
Right.
I don't feel that way, but we'll see. Well, we probably won't see because nobody's gonna talk.
No,
about
they
it.
won't tell us.
Mike Retiques with the 2 spot. Jeremy Adams DC exclusive now, I thought. Yes, he is. And they will not be handing the keys to this to Jeremy Adams. As much as I love him, I do believe that they're going to be looking for the tippy top writers and artists for this project.
Who do we want on this project?
I think art wise, it's got to be Dan Mora. The guy works at a clip. This book will be done next week if they give it to him. You know, because I think he has helpers in terms of inkers, and he just does the line work, and he has a team that finishes the work for him, which works great because that dude put out another cover for Batgirl and the Fire and Ice book coming out, and I'm like, you're doing interiors for 2 books, and you're doing covers for all these. Like, what are you doing? So it's got to be Dan Mora, just in terms of the reliability, I think, and the name recognition. He's the DC guy right now. He at least does the one that's DC Marvel. But I also feel like Mark Waid's got to be involved. He's the guy who's done everything at both and is still doing crazy good work and is an encyclopedia of knowledge. Outside of like Al Ewing, who I think is also an encyclopedia of knowledge for both these worlds, I think Mark Waid is the guy.
Mark Waid, like, to me, just screams legacy, which is not bad at all.
Sure.
but like who of the sort of newer crop would we trust to write it? Right? Like I feel like I don't know if I want Scott Snyder playing in both universes at once. But who
Snyder's
else
name,
is
yeah, Snyder's name didn't even pop up in my head. He's just absolute guy in my mind now.
like
Um,
Williamson could be cool.
Williamson could be cool. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Hickman is a no-brainer. Like, that's the guy I need to see involved. I would be pleased if he was the only writer involved, but we do need some DC love. And if Mark Waid is off the table, um, if Mark Waid is off the table, then I think it has to be Williamson.
I just know like if I'm only getting a 40-page one shot, I don't need four of them to be data pages. So
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I'm not sure Hickman really works well in this format, but
Doom one shot
the Sanford Green book.
with words by Doom by Hickman
Well, I mean, same thing at this
but
point.
it was still a Sanford Green plot though.
with
Like
words by Hickman.
true.
I think that this is such a big deal that you can't just you need architects. You need people who can come in and have an idea that's going to penetrate. If it's not just going to be, 2-3 pages of story with different creative teams. If that's not the way that they're going, and you're going to have anchor creative teams doing the whole thing, you have to get a Hickman. You have to get, people who are used to working with big ideas and big concepts and many characters in little space.
I think Chip's also a good guy.
Oh, hell no. Chip?
Yeah,
Why?
just because Batman soured you, everything else is pretty solid.
Solid. I don't think solid is what we're looking for.
I mean, it's a Marvel DC crossover.
Yeah,
Like,
I
do
think
we
that's what the
expect it to be
publishers
the
are looking for.
best book in the world? Like, it's just gonna be a spectacle.
I think that it can be both. I think we're in an era right now where we're getting both. We're literally getting both right now. Absolute and Ultimate are spectacles, but they're also very good. Energon Universe is a spectacle. G.I. Joe and Transformers combining. It's also very good. I don't think there's any reason at all why we should expect or accept less than excellence from this crossover that we may never get again in an era where we are getting quality from our spectacle comics, which was never ever true before.
Can I throw out a name that I think might actually work for this too?
Yeah.
Kurt Busiek. I think that guy understands these worlds at a very core level that he could handle this in 2 issues. There could definitely be yeah, he's not a huge name anymore in terms of like being able to put out a book and make people buy it for $8. But I think in terms of the craft, he's great for this.
I'm not mad at that at all. Like at all. I I feel like if you were around to write in the last iteration, you should be disqualified from this one.
Yeah, let the youngins have a chance. Mark Waid.
Yeah, I just think Kurt Busiek is like old news. Like he's not in the mix. I wouldn't want them to go grab somebody who's not in the mix. Like as much as I would love to see Jeff Johns on this, the greatest thing ever would be Jeff Johns and Hickman writing this. But I don't want them to go get Jeff Johns because Jeff is doing Ghost Machine. He should stick to that. He's not at DC anymore.
What about
I'm gonna like seeing Jeff Johns like on the Marvel side of things, though. That'd be cool.
that would be interesting.
Oh, it would be the greatest thing ever. No doubt about it. I just feel like, you know, like this should be not a reward, but like, hey, you're in the trenches with us. This is what you get to do.
You know who's been on the trenches of both sides very prominently? James Gunn. Could you put someone that big of a name, well, big of a name in a relative sense, on something like this?
No.
Yo, Donny
Okay.
Cates is coming back to comics. Like, give it to Donny Cates.
Donny
Uh,
Cates, yeah, that name crossed my mind as well. I like Donny Cates for this. He does blockbuster really well. And I think it would be a no-brainer if he had been entrenched over the last few years. I'm not saying that disqualifies him that he hasn't been. But I think he needs to get some stuff under his belt, man, because we don't know anymore. We genuinely don't know. We're gonna talk more about Donnie later, but we don't know where he's at.
Matt Fisher with the 199 super chat said 7 hour stream. It seems that way, but I don't think BJ can hang out for that long.
No.
He's got something called a family. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah, I do have that.
Okay, cool.
Atomic Hound with the 1999. For me, this is the big two acknowledging their competition really isn't each other as much as it's other media and licensing opportunities for the IP. Don't place too high expectations on the content, but celebrate the moment. I think that's very reasonable. Thank you, Atomic Hound, for the $20. And I agree that Marvel and DC definitely don't they're not competition for each other. Like they're competing for our dollars, but most people read both. So you pick and choose. And it's not like I'm not gonna disavow DC for Marvel, and I'm certainly not gonna do the opposite. I want both. But why can't we get a great comic book out of this? Why not? We get great comic books every week. I don't think there's ever been a time where you could expect to get great comics more than now. So let's get those great books. Let's get them. This ain't Avengers versus X-Men. That was dog shit. Let's get something really high quality. I'm sorry, BJ. Let's get something really high quality. Let's get something that can blow people's socks off.
I don't think it's gonna be, dog crap. Like I don't think it's either or. I think it is likely to be mid. Like most comics.
Yep.
Like it's gonna be mid, and that's okay. Like we've been fine with mid for like our whole lives. So it's cool.
Whoa!
Mid isn't necessarily a bad thing.
To me, mid is bad. Hold on. You've been reading comics since 2019, right? Or 2018?
19, yep.
19. Okay. In that time frame, we have gotten some amazing comic books.
Yes.
I would argue that you came into comics at the best time you could have come into comics within that decade. Because that was when DC was hot. That was the Rebirth era stuff. And Mount Marvel had the X-Men back. And ever since then, comics have been pretty dope. So how can you say that you're used to mid when your era has been one of the best eras we've ever had?
So, hot take, right? You're right. Right. I got into comics with House of X, Powers of 10.
Hot take, you're right.
Right? Like
That ain't a hot take.
that's the hot take that Sean is right. But
No.
I got into comics with Hoxpox. But like comics might have peaked for me with Hoxpox. Like there have been some bangers throughout. Like I went back and read Immortal Hulk. Loved that. Batman has been mid since I got into comics, like straight up. Detective Comics has had like some cool points, right? And everything has felt fledgling. Like if I'm talking DC, it just felt like DC never knew what they wanted to be for the last 5-6 years until this all-in era. And that's dope. Marvel is the same. Like if it wasn't for the X office, I don't even know that I would have been buying Marvel. And since Krakoa ended, there's been the Ultimate Universe has been a high point. But like I've been reading a lot of Marvel, and most of it is just okay. Like the standouts are far like head and shoulders above everything else. But most things, and maybe it's just because they put out so much stuff, most of those things are like cool.
Now compare that to the 90s.
I wasn't reading comics in the 90s, so
Yeah.
Aha.
that's the thing, right? Like,
But
so go ahead.
I'd also say like name a crossover in anything that's more than oh that was cool.
Like
Hybrid.
a mashup?
Or like
I'm
anything
really
that's crossed over. Like when I don't know when Fairly Odd Parents crossover with friggin' Jimmy Neutron. Oh, that was
the
cool.
Jetsons meet the Flintstones was mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Marvel versus Capcom. Capcom versus SNK. Um, what's that shit? DC versus Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so this
The
works in fighting games is what we're learning.
the Power Rangers TMNT crossover from the
That was
TV
dope.
shows. That was fire.
Oh no, no, no,
Um,
no. I meant the comic, not the TV shows.
the comic was fire, but the TV show was too, bro. When all the freaking Power Rangers were there with the turtles, that shit was so cool. My mind was blown, dude.
You were also 7, so I don't know if we.
Yes, but some stuff that's cool for 7-year-olds is actually just cool in real life.
That's a fact. I'm reading Animorphs graphic novels right now, and it's like the best thing
Oh,
I've read all month.
cool.
What?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, so all right. Listen, let me go ahead and do my job since Scholastic sent me these, right?
There you go. There you go.
There are, first of all, did you know there were 54 volumes of the original Animorphs series?
I don't doubt that. Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
was like
animals in the
7.
world.
I had maybe 3. Like, I wasn't the rich book fair kid, but apparently a lot of people were. So they have been adapting these since 2020. Volume 6 comes out next month. This is volume 2. And they're basically one for one adaptations of the original novel series,
Stop it.
but they're graphic, right?
That's actually really cool.
The most fun thing to me is the morphs. Like they really play with like a little kiddie like body horror thing with the morphing, and like they highlight that the morphing is not comfortable or fun for these kids to go through, and they don't like watching each other go through it either. Like it gets them they're queasy and whatnot. But yeah, this stuff is dope. And I'm not 7, and this is clearly I want to say these are designed for 8 to 12-year-olds eating it up.
By the way, guys, that's the kind of content you can expect on the Comics Are Dope YouTube channel. Subscribe right now for the dulcet tones and the excellent analysis of comic books that you get every single week. There it is. $5 from Rocky56. With Marvel and DC both doing AUs, alternate universes, do you think we could get a new universe where Marvel and DC exist together as one universe? Why not?
I don't think that's what's going to happen with this. Who knows down the line if this does really well and they are amicable and this works out? Possibly we can have another amalgam universe. But outside of that, I think you just need to go back and read those amalgam books. I don't expect them doing another alternate universe right now.
Yeah. Because then you get into profit sharing and you remember these are like $5 products, and like it just doesn't make sense like to put in that much effort.
Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to be novel. Like you do anything too much and it becomes normal, and you don't want this to be normal. You want this to feel special, because A, you want to sell as many as you can, and you do that by getting people to be convinced it'll never happen again. But also B, you want there to be excitement the next time you do it. So you got to be very careful about how much you do that. Um, Samuel Summers with the $20 asks me, "What are you singing?" If I had this thing, and I'm assuming it would be about the bunnies, gosh, what would I don't know. I don't know, Samuel. Go ahead, Tyler.
I don't think it's not really a song. It doesn't really apply to this, but I feel like you could do "I Wish" by Skilo pretty well.
What? Who's that? What is that?
You don't know that song?
No, who's Skilo?
I wish I was a little bit taller.
That's,
Taller.
yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Why would I sing that?
Because it's not really singing, you know. I mean, you might have like pipes on you. I don't know.
But isn't that rap? Isn't that a rap song?
I mean, it is, but
It's kind of melodic
yeah.
way he flows it. I guess that counts as singing.
All right, so fine. I'll sing. I'll sing a song by one of my favorite bunnies. I will sing "Poker Face" by Lady
Oh
Gaga.
no, I'm wearing a Lady Gaga shirt. That seems sacrilege right now. Oh no, I've never asked for not having money at this point.
Or how about some Mariah Carey? Well, no, she's black.
She's
Um,
definitely black.
damn it. All right. Anyway, um, what else? Do we get any more? Yeah. MP. $5. Thank you so much. I want Spider-Man and Nightwing just so they can make the joke that Dick fights crime with his hot redhead girlfriend while Peter is broke and alone. Damn it.
I mean, they do play like roughshod with Peter's identity in certain things. Like I was playing Marvel Rivals the other day, and in the lobby, Doctor Strange calls me Peter. I'm like, bro, there's other people here. Stop, outing me like that.
Hey, we have over 130 of you with us right now. That is incredible. That's the most we have ever had outside of when Sal was here. So thank you guys so much for that. Make sure you smash the like button if you are enjoying what we are doing. Really, really appreciate all the support. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure you subscribe. That is the most important thing. We appreciate all the super chats and support. Ben Loudly with the $5. They're going to milk Doomsday Clock's reference to a crossover for everything it's worth. Also hoping these stories have consistent creative teams. Yo, the Secret Crisis is here. It's here now. We didn't have to wait until 2030 or whatever Jeff Johns said in Doomsday Clock, and that's the biggest shame. That's the biggest shame. Jeff should have waited. He should have waited to launch Ghost Machine until we knew for a fact that 2030 was not going to produce another crossover. He should have waited, and I am going to call his phone to say that to him in just a minute.
Live on air? No, don't do that.
Live.
He's probably
8 a.m.
He's probably up. Actually, probably up with a nice Diet Coke.
I'd get a cease and desist. Yeah, he probably is up. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Ben.
But that's
yeah.
a good point. The secret crisis of it all. Do you think if this does well enough, they can do a secret crisis down the line?
Well, I mean, they could for sure.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like whatever goodwill we have going into this, this pops it. And like, if we're gonna have a secret crisis, we got to wait another 30 years.
In terms of like the same thing that happened with the first crossover, it's like, oh, we're amicable, let's do this, and then money gets involved, and then they recognize their competition again. Shit, in my mind, the only time we're getting a secret crisis is when Warner sells off DC to Disney.
Damn. But I do think that there would be a tremendous amount of value. Because, like, Avengers versus X-Men was a colossal success for Marvel. And that is an in-house crossover. The novelty of just that produced the biggest sales that we saw that year. What kind of sales do you think that Marvel and DC could produce with a 6 to 12 issue event with tie-ins that are similar to the AVX tie-ins that we got?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about tie-ins, yeah.
Like Nightwing, Spider-Man. Not versus, but together. Like them appearing together, you can make all the jokes, all that.
I mean, the fact that somebody has to be top billing in those tie-ins is enough to make me think it ain't happening. They're already fighting over top billing in these 2 issues they talked about.
So this is AVX, the original hardcover, 12 issues, right? And
the companion.
Yeah. And here's the companion.
Yeah.
Right. Do I want this many additional crossover issues?
You're gonna read Howard the Duck and Lobo, and you're gonna like it, BJ.
BJ,
go ahead.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm just like, we already have the 2 Omnis from days past. I guess like, well, who am I kidding? Like, I'm gonna buy it all.
Yeah.
So if they do it, I'm gonna buy it.
Sean, BJ just moved. He's recognizing how heavy all that was, and he just doesn't want more of it.
Well, but my thing was going to be I want to
You
curse.
caught
Who
yourself. Good.
told you? Who told you to buy that? If you would have, you should have asked me. You have my number. You should have said, "Yo, Sean, should I buy A plus X or whatever that was called? Should I buy this?" And I would have said, "Hey, BJ friend, fuck no, don't do that to yourself." And you would have said, "Okay, I won't."
I would have said go for it.
So the problem is, I got into comics like during the pandemic, at the height of comics YouTube, at the height of people being like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever. You should buy this." And so while I'm picking up, House of X or whatever else off the shelf, and most of it, seeming mid to me, I'm looking up like, okay, well, what's the best stuff? And that's how I end up with all these collected editions. And there's also the FOMO of it all, because that Avengers versus X-Men was not easy to come by at the time. And so when I found it on eBay for like $20, I was like, steal, got it. And there we have it. Now I have a house full of stuff.
I mean, at $20, I would have bought it too. So I don't blame you.
I actually would have too. $20. I mean,
Right.
you can't go wrong. Jesus, I'll take some crappy stories for $20.
There's some good stuff in there.
Joe, yeah, Joe said, "Wish Ben Potter, comic historian, was still with us. He would have loved this crossover. Rest in peace, Benny." I agree with that. Rest in peace to comic historian. He was an ambassador for this community, and like, think about how big this would have been for someone like that. This is huge for all of us. I know Sal Comic Pop went live, like a breaking live yesterday to talk about this. Like, so many of you are here with us right now. This is the power of this kind of crossover. This is the power of Marvel and DC working together. It's a huge deal.
It's going to be something that gets me into my comic shop on a Wednesday as a digital reader, because I just want this.
And both companies have talked a lot about wanting to bring people back to stores. Who's going to choose? I mean, some people will. So, like, but most people are going to say, "I need to own this."
For sure.
It's not going to be enough to just look at it on an iPad or whatever.
Which is why it's announced at Comics Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping they do some really good marketing for this. I'm hoping they do, like maybe a TV spot, maybe movie spots, but like just like cool, like if they could do like midnight launches. Remember those things that some shops used to do? Have like the bookmarks that come out with it, or like not Green Lantern rings, but whatever would work in this situation. Like just hype it up for the shops. Let really drive people to the shops with this. I think they have an opportunity to do something really, really freaking cool.
I went to a midnight release for the Dawn of X, that X-Men #1. They had a party variant with Jean Grey popping out of a cake. It was great.
It's a great impression of Sean.
Hecatron said, "Geez, maybe Sean is into cocaine. He's really animated today." First of all, I am not into cocaine, and if I were, I wouldn't tell you. But I am animated because this announcement is insane. It's exciting. It's hype. And if I come on here and I say, "Yeah, hey guys, Marvel and DC are crossing over, and it's really cool, and I'm really excited," there'd be about half of you here. You know what I mean? I'm working, brother. Do you guys have any final thoughts about this?
I'm ready to see it. I want to see art.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited for it.
I'm ready to see the Frank Miller Wolverine Batman cover. That's what I want to see. People are hating on current Frank Miller Marvel covers. I love them so much.
I really am excited about the variants, though.
Yeah, yeah.
There are so many great cover artists that I know are like just chomping at the bits. Like, if DC and Marvel are like, "Hey, we got 15 variants each," and they have like a bake off, like, it's hard to imagine a world where I don't buy like all of them.
Imagine Jimenez drawn on a Spider-Man on a cover. Like that's who I want to see drawn Spider-Man.
Patrick Gleason back at DC.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I saw that the Absolute Universe has pulled in over 2 million sales not dollars, but like copies sold. That's across all Absolute books. Now, obviously, a lot of that is going to be front loaded to the issue ones. If the Absolute Universe can sell 2 million copies since October, then this crossover is going to do more than that. Just 2 issues, but with all variants included and everything else, this could be the biggest selling anything in comics in a couple decades, maybe since Star Wars #1.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. You think it beats Star Wars #1? I think it has the
I think so.
potential. Yeah.
I think so. The hardcovers that they did, the two omnibus, are the biggest selling collected editions of all time. Perhaps besides like the trade of Watchmen and the million printings, but
Yeah.
the biggest single release were those DC versus Marvel omnis.
Even the trade paperback they put up of JLA Avengers, like you can't find that anymore. And that was like a 2000 print run or something. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Atomic Baby says, I am failing my chem test, but I am watching the stream tonight. Atomic Baby, listen, don't fail your chem test. Chemistry is important. You need to pass. Make yourself proud. But definitely do tune into the stream. Make sure you like the video as well. Yeah, I'm excited. This is the most exciting announcement that has been made in my time reading comics. And I hope it lives up to my expectations. Obviously, they're lofty. And I'm not saying that, like, if they don't meet them, I'll rage. It's just that I want this to be as good as it can be. But regardless of the quality, I am happy that this is happening. And I am, my respect level for Marvel and DC grew because they were able to make this happen. You know, there's no reason why this can't happen. There shouldn't be a reason why they can't do this. I'm not saying it needs to happen every year, not even every 5 years, not even every 10. But I don't think it should be off the table to ever occur, and I'm glad that it is happening.
Especially from a creative standpoint, I got to imagine nobody at DC or Marvel doesn't want this to happen. You know what I mean? Like being able to work on this is awesome from an editor standpoint, from an editor in chief standpoint, from an intern standpoint. You know,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be fun all around.
When they put this new crossover,
Yep.
the trade paperback like this, there's no way it's not the biggest thing in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I got to get me one of those, man. Damn.
They're like 140 on eBay right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not terrible considering what they were when they first came out. This is a $30 cover price book though. So don't pay 140 for it.
I won't be. I will
They
not
were
be.
even in the announcement, they were hinting at a reprint of this.
Yeah.
Like read that Bleeding Cool article, like I think they're gonna reprint that absolute sized slipcase version of this.
Yeah.
And if and when they do, I'm definitely getting that. I might even get this one away.
I'm
Go
just
ahead,
I'm just getting whatever Zatanna Scarlet Witch cover comes out. That's what I will be getting.
Dude, think about all the covers they can. Oh my god. So you said Zatanna Scarlet Witch. All right. How about Emma Frost?
Can't get your mind out of it. Jeez.
No, Emma Frost and Catwoman.
I mean,
Sojourner Mullen and Moon Girl, because it's still February.
You know what? I like that.
good job.
I
BJ.
like it. There you go. Hey, Catwoman, she's black, dude. She's black sometimes.
Oh, in the movie. Okay.
Hey, listen, she was looking real dark in Batman Year One. Let's go back to that. That's why Zoe Kravitz and Halle Berry have played the character. There's precedent there. Let's get that going.
Eartha Kitt might be the best Catwoman
Oh,
in
Kitt
live
as well.
action. Period.
hands down. Although Anne Hathaway, but that's gonna set Sean off if I mention Anne Hathaway. So.
Oh my god, dude. Oh man. Elite. Rogue and Raven. Lucas Halder. I can't say Raven because to me Raven is not. I think of Raven as being a part of the Teen Titans. The emphasis on the word teen.
I just want the Cyclops and like Nightwing. You know that Street Fighter thing where they like lock hands? Like I want to see a play on that with like just two good team leaders.
That would be sick, dude. I like that a lot. I like that a whole hell of a lot. G Town Comics says, and I was ready to walk away from the hobby of collecting comics since the mid 70s. Now they're reeling me back in with this crossover. That's what I'm talking about, G Town Comics. That's what I'm talking about. This will bring back so many lapsed readers. It will bring people who are on the fence back over to the good side. This is like nothing but positive. It doesn't even matter how good or bad the actual books are. This is something for our community, and by that I mean the community of comic book fans. That there's no reason not for this not to be joyous.
And Ben,
Lucas Hallner with the $2 says Black Panther X Vixen.
it's a Ben
Shuri?
Lally. Uh,
Sorry.
Ben Lally did that
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
donation.
Okay. I like that.
I like that too. Yeah, I wish Vixen would have a more higher profile, but
All right. We're gonna leave the crossover talk there, but we have so many more announcements. Like you guys don't even know the full extent of all these announcements that we've gotten. Do not go anywhere. We are going to get into the new creative team behind Batman that will shock you. The new creative team by Captain America that I might arguably be more excited about. And so many other big time announcements from the big two coming out of Comics Pro. You guys stay right there. Do we have, give me one moment because I might want to do something here. Do we have, yes. What I'm going to do after this very short patreon.com shout out, patreon.com/the comics pal shout out, what I'm going to do is we're going to give away 5 channel memberships because you guys have been so good and there are so many of you here. We're going to give away 5 channel memberships after this quick moment where I will say thank you to our patrons. Patreon.com/the comics pals is the best way to support your boys. If you enjoy what we do here, that is the way. And if you want a shout out on the show, you got to join the Palsverse. You click the join the Palsverse tier or above, and that will get you a nickname and a shout out on the show. You guys know how we do around here. Special shout out to our Palsverse legends, Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross Catherine Stars, the Red Spiral, Spiral Storm, Adam and Bernie the Best Boy, the Spear of Judgment, Jace Jumble, Matthew Malice Price. And I want to say thank you to the Night Stalker Harris Dajinski, Brian Demolished No Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Dan the True Trudeau, Marley Manistorm, Slow Flow Dameron, Christian Uncaged, Always Laughing, the Spear of Justice, Izzy Spears, the Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Robert Runback Cashaback, Pete the Dreamweaver Collins, James Just Jamming Jones, Paul Powerhouse Smith, Andrew the Galaxian Smith, Neon Knight the Cosmic Avenger, Matthew the Shade Cosmo, BJ Kicks, and the Living Blade, Boss Rendier. If you did not hear your name, stick around because we will be getting to everybody a little bit later on. We have with us a patron of the Patreon on the show. Guys, your dreams can come true. It's possible. It happened for BJ. It can happen for you. Patreon.com/the comics pals. Let's fucking go. I'm hyped.
and also just make a great YouTube channel.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Because I think I was a guest before I was a patron.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll say this though. If y'all want to like spread some of that love, like channel memberships on my channel start at $1.99. You can get a shout out in every video. You probably won't get a cool nickname or an origin story, but you'll put food in my kid's mouth and it'll be great.
And I think in the title of the YouTube they let me tag you, so you could probably just click that and go right to BJ's channel.
And BJ, you put interviews up for your channel members, right? They get a little early access to that.
They
Yeah.
get the video interviews before other people. Yeah, that's how that goes. And then
Love that.
I want to start back doing giveaways. I'm terrible at giving things away because like I'll host a giveaway and then I'll be like, oh snap, I got to pay to ship all this stuff out. But I also have very limited space, and a lot of books. So it's time to give back to the people.
There you do a giveaway live stream. You'll make some bank. Use that
Like a
bank to ship
whatnot
that
or
stuff out.
something. If you need to really get
Nah,
rid of
whatnot.
stuff. I mean, it's not giving it away, but
Speaking of giving away, I promised we'd give away 5 memberships, and they are inbound. Here we go. Uh, Congratulations to Jedi Ty. You win all the time, bro. DJ, Scott Green, Scott Simpson, double Scott, Nerdy Geek, and that's it. Congratulations to
Cool.
you 5.
Double Scott.
Some lurk. Sorry.
Double Scott Day. It's like Scott-tober
Yeah.
all over again.
Make
Got it.
sure to enjoy your early access videos for our channel members, Pen Pals, which is exclusive to channel members, and your emojis in the chat, which I would love to see. I would love for you. I want to see some pals heads in the chat. If you're enjoying what we're doing right now, drop those pals heads if you have access to them. We've got a lot more show to do. Let's get into it. So DC kicked off Comics Pro in earnest by announcing the creative team on Batman #1. Chip Zdarsky and Jorge Jimenez's run ended. We've got Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb coming on for the summer period. They're going to do their 6 issues. And then in September, DC will be controversially relaunching Batman with a new #1, with George Jimenez returning alongside Tamu Moray and Clayton Cowles, who were already on Batman, with a new writer. And that man is Matt M.F.in Fraction.
Man, last week when Chris Arndt was on the show, I mentioned how nobody wants to pay Matt Fraction to write comics anymore. He must have known about this beforehand.
He may have. It's possible, yeah.
This is cool. This was not expected. It's cool twofold. I love Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction's put out some of my favorite comics, especially when he does like a more grounded superhero, which you can argue whether or not Batman is really grounded anymore. And B, I'm perfectly okay with Jimenez staying on the book. The dude knows Batman, and this costume redesign that he's doing is freaking gorgeous. So this announcement was like one of the rare comic book announcements where I'm texting it to people like, "Oh, you see this?" So I'm pretty excited for this.
I gotta say, it didn't like blow me away just because I've never read a Matt Fraction book. I am curious about it. First of all, I'm never not buying Batman, so there's that. I will say, like, I've never read a Matt Fraction book, but consistently when you ask people like, what Iron Man should I read? It's Matt Fraction or David Michelini, and like no one else. So that has me curious about what a Batman title could look like. It's already written like, billionaire superhero, right? And then Jorge Jimenez, I'm not mad at. Like, I love every time he draws Batman. I'm kind of concerned because it's like the main gripe with Chip's run was that Jorge wasn't on every issue or wasn't consistent enough, right? And so it's like I love Jorge Jimenez on this book if he's actually drawing the book. But if it's going to be a rotating cast, then who else is on in the cast? And bring Alfred back. If you're going to relaunch Batman, Alfred better be in this book.
Yeah, right? Come on, dude.
I wonder if they really realized with the end of Chip's run, it was like, hey, we need to put out books and get ready for Jim Lee stuff. And like, because Jimenez would have been working on it, on this while that was being published. Those last couple issues, that last arc, where it was kind of like the all-star artist team that Chip dealt with. So hopefully they just realized, all right, that's just got to end. Let's just put it out. And they let him cook on this a little more because there's a lot of art for this that's coming out in September. So hopefully he had more time and more leeway on this.
So the articles that I've read suggest that this will actually be a bit different than what we've gotten with Batman recently. So here's a quote directly from comicbook.com's article breaking the news. The stories will be connected, but mostly self contained, as every issue provides a possible new adventure, new style, and a new challenge for Batman. So that makes me feel like this is not going to necessarily be a long run. It reminds me of Ryan North's Fantastic Four, which, has gone on for, we're about to hit issue 30. So that's a chunky run in comics. But it's been very accessible. You can jump in at any moment, and that's fine. The other thing with that, though, is that you don't as much care about continuity with artists, because if every story is different, then the same artist being attached isn't as important. So if George Jimenez is or Jorge Jimenez is coming on and he's going to skip out every now and then, as long as it's not disrupting the art of an arc, fine. If this is going to be one and dones, then okay.
And there's a part of me that likes the idea of one and dones on a Batman book. Let Detective cook with the long form storytelling, which Tom Taylor is right now, and then maybe let this just be like it almost I feel like works for Fraction, because he might just be here for a good time, not a long time. Because he's got the MonsterVerse at Apple TV, the Godzilla verse that he's been I think show running actually.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't, if like one Batman title has to be like sort of one and done stories, and the other needs to be like, more long form. I don't care which is which, but yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't appeal to me for Batman. I really like the long, stories, and I was hoping that that's what Matt was coming on to do. So when I read this, I was a little bit disappointed. But we know that Matt Fraction is not really that guy anymore when it comes to, certainly not Big Two comics. The last thing that I remember he did was the Jimmy Olsen book, which I think was a one shot.
It was a series. It was like a
Oh, it's
mini
a
series,
series,
yeah,
a mini series, like, so probably what, six,
or
five, 6 issues.
limited. I don't know the distinction between the two, but yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, in my mind, Matt Fraction is good for that. So if he's gonna do more than that, how much more than that? And at what point does it become like, all right, we were getting one and dones. I want something a little more meaty. We'll see.
So, so here's what we know. We know that Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb are doing Hush 2, and it's going to be 6 issues to start, and they're going to interrupt the line again somewhere down the road. When does that interruption take place?
And Atomic Hound with the 4.99 super chat pretty much says the same thing. This feels like a stealth miniseries to hold the space on the monthly calendar between Hush 2 segments.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that makes a ton of sense. And if that's the case, great. I think DC needed to announce a big writer for this. Um, if they announced a placeholder team, it would have really hurt the book. And now, with a new number one, they're going to pop a rating. They're going to do a big number for that issue one, and that's going to catapult mainline Batman back to the top of the charts again until Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb come back, at which point the book will once again, do big numbers. This track right here, Jeff and Jim, then Matt and Jorge, then Jeff and Jim, is going to be huge for the Batman series.
Especially in terms of just like straight sales. Maybe not in terms of creative continuity.
Narratively, that just does not sound great to me.
Oh, no.
And it's already been like 5 years of mid. At least these will be exciting, but I don't know, man.
I was always against the Hush 2 being thrown into the Batman title, especially when they were going to take a break. Because it's like no matter what, you're gonna narratively disrupt things doing it that way. Did I read somewhere? Did we talk about the potential of like the second half of Hush being a mini series or something, or not being on the main Batman title?
Yeah, that is something that the wording of the original announcement, and then Jim Lee and Anna DePie did an interview where they talked a little bit about it, and the wording led some people to come away with that conclusion. It's not the one that I came away with, but it's possible. But I just think that would be weird. Like the first half's not a mini, but the second half is like, okay,
How the hell do you collect that? Yeah.
it's bizarre. MP with the $5 says, could be great or more of the same. Again, we have the co-creator of Sex Criminals with an acclaimed run on a Marvel Street hero teaming up with Jimenez. Yeah, that's really funny. He went from Chip, the artist on Sex Criminals, to Matt, the writer on Sex Criminals, both of which have written Marvel Street level, Chip with Daredevil, and Fraction with Iron Fist. That's crazy.
Oh, I was thinking Hawkeye, but yeah, yeah. And it's funny, Chip in the his newsletter that he puts out, the one that they actually publish and the Image puts out that you can get, made a joke about like who's going to take over after him on Batman, and Fraction was the first one. He's like, of course this guy would come in and steal my thunder, and this was put out months ago, which Chip had to have known. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a fun tongue in cheek thing.
When I saw the announcement, I jokingly put in one of my group chats like "Justice for Chip," but in his newsletter, he says that he was winding down on Batman, like no
Yeah,
matter what. So I see a world where it was like, we're gonna pass it from Chip to Fraction. Oh wait, Hush Two's got to go somewhere.
I still believe my conspiracy is that Chip's run ended when we thought it would ended, where he made that home that named after Alfred with everyone. But DC said, "Hey, we need you. We need a favor from you. Can you get one more arc out so we have time for Jim and Jeff?" And that's what that last arc of Batman is.
Marvin Oost says, first time catching you live. Well, thank you for being here. Appreciate you joining us on this momentous day. Steve Canara says, with Fraction on the new book, does that make Jimenez the common denominator? Well, George Jimenez has been on Batman for 5 years because George was on with Tynan. So he is the common denominator. It's hard to argue that he's not the Batman artist of the modern era.
What do you guys think of the new suit?
Mm, I like some parts of it. I like the blue. I'm cool with the blue. The emblem, though, I feel like the emblem should be yellow, man. The actual symbol.
I mean, this is design wise similar to Lee's design that was in Hush. It's just a little more blue.
Hmm.
I'm not against it. It feels a little Nightwing, honestly. Like this feels like
Yeah.
what Dick Grayson's costume might have looked like when he became Batman. But I like it. I like how it's different. I like how they're leaning into color. Like even in the preview pages, it's all during the daytime, which is odd for Batman. So they are going for a very distinctly different color palette here.
Yeah. I don't dislike it. I think I'm always partial to gray and black for Batman,
Yeah.
but you're right. It is like basically Hush with a different emblem. Like, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it's a costume. I don't get too affected by them. And Jimenez makes it work. Like Jimenez is such a beast. And the one panel here where Batman like does the Professor X and the Cyclops and his eyes light up or whatever, looks like he's using some kind of like whatever
He turned on
technology.
detective mode from the
Hell yeah.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. From the Arkham games. I think that looks really cool.
I do like that the cape is like rigid. Like it's like what is that? Which Batman movie is that? Where the cape just like basically has like umbrella skeleton in it.
Was it George Clooney's Batman and Robin?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I like it.
Well, it feels like almost like a McFarlane cape, too,
Yeah.
in how huge it is.
Um so yeah, I mean new Batman #1 coming in September. That's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to see what they do. It's it's exciting. Now we've got a few more DC announcements. DC did put out some Superman stuff. And we don't need to spend too much time on these unless you have something you want to get off your chest. Action Comics is going to be shifting gears. We've been in the Superman All Star phase, and now Mark Waid, who just left the book, he did 8 issues. I believe it was 8 issues in 8 weeks. Um, he just left the book and he's returning to it with Skylar Patridge to tell stories of Clark's youth. They're returning to Smallville. He's going to be Superboy again. Action Comics 1087 is going to be a return to the early days of the Superman legend.
Back when he was Superboy, right?
Yep.
And Skylar worked on the backups during Mark Waid's run on the Supergirl backups, which I thought were really interesting. So I'm totally cool with this. There's that one cover where it's like young Superman with like not like the tidy whities, but like the trunks. And he's got like a messy room with he's like a full on sound system in his room too. I wonder what music young Superman listened to. But yeah, this is fine. I think it makes sense, Summer of Superman to do something different with this book to separate it from like all the other books, Unlimited, all that stuff.
Gavin Guidry gets to draw Superman in the Action Comics title in April.
Yeah.
Like, that's dope.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, and then not to be left out in the cold, DC's biggest dog, DC's best boy, Crypto, has a series coming from Ryan North and Mike Norton. So it's going to be a 5-issue mini that, explores Crypto trying to find Superman. It looks like it's going to take place over some time. It's going to be dropping in June. Yeah. Crypto was the star of the Superman trailer. So it's not really a big surprise that he's going to get a series unto himself. This isn't really for me. But it is Ryan North, so.
This is for me. I think this is great. I like Ryan North a lot, and he's done these like fun kind of like all ages stories with like Squirrel Girl and Adventure Time comics are actually really good by Ryan North. But Mike Norton, who was on some of he's been on stuff before. But he did one of my favorite issues of Astro City. And this was Astro City number 48 during the relaunch, the most recent relaunch. And it was about a dog. This dude draws really good dogs. Like that's what I remember him from. And I think this is a great choice. And why not have Crypto in the book? He's going to be huge.
Sophie Campbell is taking on Supergirl this year. We are going to see a Sophie Campbell written and drawn Supergirl series starting in May. Art Germ designed the costume, so that's kind of cool. She's going to be going back to Midvale, and it's going to be more Supergirl stuff. I think Kara needs this badly, and I think Sophie Campbell is literally the perfect person for this. I'm actually really excited.
I'm really excited for this one too. I love Sophie's work. Glory, if you never read Glory at Image by Sophie, fantastic. And also like, wasn't my thing, but apparently her Ninja Turtles run is great. She was on it for forever. So it's nice to see her somewhere else. And they brought Supergirl's midriff back. That's a thing.
Yay.
I liked Sophie's art in the Ninja Turtles. The book was a little too slice of life for me, but I'm curious to see what the Supergirl looks like.
Yeah. Supergirl has a movie coming out. She's 2026. So between Woman of Tomorrow and this, and they'll probably get one more Supergirl thing out. There will be a lot of books on the stands for people to buy when that movie touches down. So, we got a super chat. We've got Matt Fisher back on the horn. 499 side question: are John and Martha still alive? Haven't seen them in forever. Yeah, they're alive. They're alive.
Yeah, they showed up when I think it was Bendis's run when they had to move, like Clark and Lois and John moved to Metropolis instead of Smallville, and they would occasionally go back to Smallville and say hi to the folks. That's the last time I remember seeing them. So it's been a while though.
I think they should never die, but that's just me.
No
Um,
tornadoes.
no
Okay.
tornadoes, no cars, no car accidents, nothing like that. BJ's got just a few more minutes here with us, and so we've got so much more to talk about. But BJ, I wanted to give you the floor. If there's some piece of news that dropped, or something you want to say and get off your chest, so we can talk about it for a few minutes, feel absolutely free.
Okay. First of all, there are a lot of news stories. So quick hits. I'm excited about Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti on Captain America.
Yeah.
I'm never excited about Captain America, but Chip did Avengers Twilight, and I liked his cap in that book. So I'm excited about this. Um, I don't care about Emma Frost. Spider-Man and Wolverine could be cool, only because I like Kari Andrews' art.
I would love
Also,
it.
Mark Guggenheim is dope. Um, Other than that, I guess the most exciting news on the docket has got to be this Ultimate Spider-Man incursion book. I say exciting in quotes just because I'm so tired of Miles and crossovers. Like, they find a crossover. I just picked up issue 30, which is a crossover with Deadpool. And the fact that Cody Ziegler is writing it, all right, so my bad. Just for the sake of the keep catching you guys up. They're doing a Ultimate Universe incursion where Miles Morales of the 616 universe, formerly of the whatever Ultimate Universe was before, because it was a different designation in this new Ultimate Universe. But former Ultimate Miles, now mainline Miles, is going to go to the new Ultimate Universe because apparently his little sister gets her hands on whatever that thing the maker gave Miles was and gets sent to the new Ultimate Universe. So he's got to go on a rescue mission to get his sister. At the end of the 5 issues, is he going to decide to stay in this new Ultimate Universe? Who knows? Maybe Shift goes to the new Ultimate Universe and stays there. Cody Ziegler's name is on it, in addition to Dennis Camp and some others. So it's going to be the best of the Ultimate Universe team with the current writer of Miles Morales, who, by the way, is doing a great job when he's not having to cross over with everything. And this is yet another crossover. And I don't know how I feel about it yet, except that obviously I'm buying it.
That's the one through line. It's just like, I don't know about this. I'm gonna put money on it, but I don't know about it.
Right.
You were quoted, BJ, as having said something that has stuck around here the last time you were on the show, and that was, might as well buy it.
Yeah. Look, listen, so I just moved and we just had a kid, right? I am looking at just proof that the single issue format has outlived its useful life for me, but I'm too stubborn to actually stop buying single issues. I got to know what's happening, like the latest and greatest right here, right now. I can't wait 6 months for it to hit whatever the unlimited sites are. I'm not going to pirate it. I got to go to the shop. Like, so it's here to stay, but I'm going to be grumpy about it for the rest of life until they do something really, really fun. And I'll be a little bit less grumpy until, it wears off and everything's mid again.
See, I watched your video, the I'm breaking up with single issues video,
Mm.
and I was like, man, BJ, you better stop talking that mess. I've been there, bro. We've all been there. Get that out of here. You know you're gonna keep buying them single issues.
It's not that I'm not going to buy them, it's that I'm going to be more selective and they can't live in my house because there's not enough room. So my single issues are going to live in storage for the most part. And so I got to be selective. And they don't make that easy.
I'm gonna keep watching those haul videos that you do every week, the new comics videos, and I need to see that number of singles go down. See if you keep your word.
We'll
Okay,
see.
Sean, you haven't been doing much better.
Listen, people hold me accountable. We gotta hold BJ accountable. BJ is the golden boy, but BJ must also be held accountable for what he says to his audience. And I am a dope boy. I consider myself to be a part of that audience, so I am holding him accountable.
Well, if you're gonna hold me accountable to what I said, let's be very clear. I said that I am changing the way I talk about comics to more accurately reflect the way I interact with them. And so, as opposed to just making a budget consideration, I'm also considering time and space now. I don't have time to read all these books. I just read Ultimate Wolverine #1. By the way, that's the Ultimate X-Men book you were waiting for the last
Yes.
8 months. So there you go. It's good. But, I don't, I need a way to just read like the standouts, which the best way to do that probably would just be waiting for trades. But there's so much that never makes it to trades. So,
Or if you're a DC fan, you got to wait a year and a half,
oh my God,
and the hype's
yes,
gone. Yeah,
ridiculous. Like, why is the DC Power 2024 hardcover coming out now? Like,
yeah.
it
Bird,
was a single issue that we got a
yeah.
year ago. Why is that hardcover coming out now?
I remember Birds of Prey took over a year for the first trade to come out.
Who's looking for that at that point? The DC Power one. Like,
Random black people that walk into a comic shop in February is DC's answer, just to be clear. Like,
Did it come out in February this year?
Yeah, it came out in February. Came out what?
They were
2-3
they were
months
just
ago?
waiting for Black History Month then.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Every year, the DC Power anthology comes out in a hardcover in February. So next February, I presume we're going to see the rise of the Power Company and the Power Company Recharged all in one bigger Black History Month hardcover. But that's what we're getting.
so what you're telling me, BJ, is that DC stands for don't care about black people
I did
outside
not.
of February.
I
That's what
didn't.
you said.
So to be fair, they're doing more than they've done as of late, and technically making a more visibly concerted effort than Marvel at this current moment in time.
And Sean saying that made me feel like Mike Myers at the Katrina telethon.
Right.
Jeez, like
No,
oh.
one of my favorite things on earth with BJ is to put him on the hot seat because BJ has a different channel than we do. BJ is very careful with the words he uses, and I am not. Well, I actually am, but you can't tell that. But I love to see what we can get BJ in trouble with because BJ has connections that I don't have.
There's no hot seat with BJ though. It's all cool, calm, and collected though. Like you thought that was a hot seat. He was like, nah, cool. Here's a good answer.
I mean, I saved my hot takes for the Comics Pals and my blog that no one reads. Like, I just wrote about that time Storm and T'Challa met, and T'Challa made Storm a better mutant, like with his loincloth. Like, that happened. Like, Storm got control of her powers because she had sex. That's a thing that happened. That's crazy.
Listen, T'Challa, he's throwing down.
Trying to make that
That
child.
Black Panther.
He made her feel like a woman that could control her mutant abilities. And it just made me mad because I was just like, we always know Storm as this independently powerful entity, worshipped as a goddess. Does she really need to be unlocked in that way? And also, don't mutant abilities manifest at like 13? Like, how old were they really? I shouldn't have to ask these questions.
And also,
That
like,
shouldn't have happened.
Life Dream happened. She controlled her powers there. You know.
Yeah.
Listen, Black Panther sounds like one of those, excuse me, BJ, dick pills that you could buy at the rest stop.
The gas
And
station.
he does have that. He does have that herb. So my man, he's on that shit.
The purple
and
flower.
He gave it to Storm in such a way that she said, "Whoa!" She said, "Whoa!" The powers came back. She said, "I got that lightning in me now."
Sean
Yeah,
said
this is the part
it's
where I
raining.
sign off. This is the part. This is the part where I say, "Hey, it's been great being on the show. I always love hanging out with the comics pals. You know, it's fun. It's very fun. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm BJ Kicks. I run the channel Comics Are Dope. We've been on a bit of a hiatus because, as I said, we had a baby, and babies don't care about your YouTube schedule. But we'll be back to your regularly scheduled programming fairly soon. I got to put some stuff out this month contractually, so it's coming. But other than that, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see you in the comments. And we've also got a community on Discord that is better than the Comics Pals community because Sean decided to, declare war. And so
The die is
all
cast.
the smoke. You can join us in the description of every one of my YouTube videos.
The only option is to make sure they merge. Everyone joins both channels and becomes a conglomerate. We need a monopoly here on comic book communities.
Yeah, we can be the Dope Pals.
I think that's a different Discord. That's like on the dark web.
Oh.
Yeah.
My Discord is called the Dope Fiends. They voted for that name.
Good.
So
Good.
BJ, I am a dope fiend. Only in the sense that I
knew
am...
it.
big admission here.
Only in the sense that I'm a huge, huge fan of your channel. But I would say to you, respectfully, I have a live mic twice a week. So you don't want to go there.
Yeah, no. Listen, I don't need war with anyone. I stay out of that side of comics YouTube. So I'm just excited that, we're friends. I met this man in real life and he gave me a hug. He's like, man, we got to hug it out.
Yeah.
Which, although I'm a little jealous of Sal's reaction, right? So we're in a room with all of these amazing comic creators. Like we're in a room with Chip Zdarsky and Scott Snyder and Alex Segura, and like the list goes on and on, right? And someone says to Sean, hey, Sal just walked in. And Sean goes, oh, and like jets
That is
over.
crazy accurate impression of Sean.
I was like, yo, I've never seen anyone act like that for anyone. That is amazing. And that is my favorite Sean moment to date.
Well, I thank you. The Avengers of YouTube are you, Omar from Near Mint, and Sal from Comic Pop. And Benny, is in that conversation as well. So you guys are like the dream team to me. So getting to see you together is amazing. But I do have to say, Sal's Captain America, bro.
I'm not mad at that. I'll be Black Panther on the Avengers. It's cool with me.
The Comics Pals is West Coast Avengers.
All right, we're going to let BJ go. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Comics Are Dope. It is the best YouTube channel for comics, in my opinion. BJ, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, brother. It's always appreciated. You are welcome back literally anytime.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. And
take care.
Stay dope.
Thanks, BJ.
Problem.
Okay, we have a lot more show to do. Thanks to BJ for hanging out with us. It's always a pleasure to have him hang out. Atomic Hound said, I'm a former sailor and Sean makes me blush. I haven't said anything. What have I said today? I've said nothing. I've been quiet.
You said you were a dope fiend, Sean.
For BJ's channel, not for actual dope.
Well, that's snow.
No. Well, not that kind of snow. You guys know I like to play in the snow, but not like that. Come on now. Uncanny Suit. I didn't kiss Sal, okay? I didn't kiss Sal. That's not the noise BJ was making.
It was more of like an excited sound. I don't know how to describe it. But BJ, he got your tonation down pat.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I kind of wish I had heard more of that. I want to hear more impressions of me. Red Spiral says, guess we know what Sean fantasizes about. You have no idea, sir. You have no idea.
I mean, if you want an idea, check out our Patreon for the free episode Sean put out yesterday. 17 minutes, 38 seconds, for what I remember.
Yes.
Was there editing? What was the process behind this?
There was very slight editing, yeah.
Some stream of consciousness stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. I put my list together of the top 5 snow bunnies. But outside of that, I just wanted to give a little bit of history of my, my history with them. And it all began with Pamela Anderson, the greatest Canadian import of all time. Um, Speaking of Canada, by the way, speaking of Canada, I need some. Where are my Canadian people? Canadians, rise up now. I need some advice. I'm going to be in Canada next week, and I need to hear from you all. What do I need to do? I'll be in Toronto, okay? Toronto, and I need to hear, where do I need to eat? Where do I need to go for some fun? What's the move?
I got one for you. You're not too far from Niagara Falls on the Canadian side, which is like tourist trap. It's bonkers. They have the only privately owned rainforest cafe there that apparently is very good.
Oh,
But it's like they have like haunted houses. It looks like a boardwalk, but in Canada and near Niagara Falls. Never been, but it's always been one of those things I wanted to check out. It's real sticky and stuff.
okay.
You can say hi to Drake too if you want. He's from Toronto, right?
Yeah, but I don't. I mean, I like Drake's music, but Drake as a human, I'm not a fan of.
Certified in something, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to see that guy. But there are a lot of Canadians that I do want to see, and hopefully I can run into them. Oh, I think of Canada as like a really small place. Like Drake lives up the way, Pamela Anderson's, hanging out.
It's huge, Sean, and it's going to be the 51st state.
Yeah, exactly. That could happen. So, all possibilities are on the table, but I need some recommendations from my true blue Canadians. So, please do share those with me. We are going to talk though about the Marvel side of Comics Pro because Marvel themselves had quite a few announcements. Nothing necessarily on the size of a new, the new Batman stuff. But there was a major development in the Captain America space. So we do have JMS's Captain America run, which just wrapped up with Jesus Saez, and there's a vacuum. There's a hole in the Captain America space, and coming in to fill that hole is none other than Chip Zdarsky. Chip Zdarsky and Valerio Schiti are teaming up for Captain America, a relaunch. So I presume we're going back to number one, which is fine for Cap. And this is the synopsis. The opening arc of their game-changing new run takes place in a rarely explored time period. After the World War II hero emerged from frozen suspended animation, but before he joined the Avengers. Declassifying Steve Rogers' first mission after re-enlisting in the U.S. Army, the story sees Captain America tasked with infiltrating Latveria, leading to his previously untold first encounter with Doctor Doom. How does that strike you?
Well, Gavin Gidry said it perfectly. He said, Captain America by non-Americans? Woke. No, I'm fine with this. I like Chip. I think BJ kind of stole the words right out of my mouth earlier. Chip's Avengers Twilight was probably one of our favorite books last year. Was it last year? Yeah. I think we every time it came out, we pretty much enjoyed it. And he had a good handle on Steve Rogers. So I'm excited to see him do that in more of a in continuity modern take on that. And Sheedy is not a slouch. I liked Gods. I know you kind of like poo-pooed it earlier. We can curse now. You kind of shit on it earlier. But Valerio Shitty is not shitty. He's great. So I'm excited to see what he could bring to a Cat book.
See, I want to be really excited because I agree with you that Avengers Twilight was phenomenal. One of my favorite Captain America stories, actually. And so that gave me a lot of, hope for this. And then obviously Valerio is one of the best artists working today. But the synopsis, I just don't need that. I don't need to go back in time. I don't need to see Cap's first interaction with Doctor Doom. Like, I get that Doom's the hot guy right now, but I just feel like modern Cap has got to be something big has got to be done with that version because, quite frankly, since Mark Waid probably was the last person to do something really great with Cap, I didn't even care about that. I'm only saying that because it's a celebrated run. But like was it John Ridley that just wrapped up with Cap a few years ago?
That
That
was
wasn't
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah.
Yeah, people didn't like that run.
First arc's good. It does go downhill though.
I liked it, but I didn't finish it. So there you go.
I mean, it's just a past retelling to give context to the modern day, which I think everyone kind of does with Cap. So it's not just going to be a in the past story. So like I'm fine if it's these secrets from the past come to light in present day. Everyone who's done Cap has done that in some form or another. So that's not breaking the mold for me. So I think I'm okay with that.
Everyone has definitely not done a first arc in the past.
Well, I don't think it's just in the past. That's the thing. It's because they have concept art that is modern day. I think it's more of a jumping between sort of situation. Well, we'll see that.
I mean, I'm going by what the solicit literally says, and it says the opening arc of their game-changing new run takes place in a rarely explored time period. That language doesn't really leave room for interpretation, but that doesn't also mean that that's the only thing that will happen throughout the run itself.
Sure.
So yeah, sure, the run itself will explore the modern day. My problem is I don't want to go through a whole arc to get to that. So while I hope you're right, I don't think that's what we're going to get, and that's kind of frustrating.
That's fair. What do you think of this stealth cap suit in the concept art? Did you see that?
Yeah, I actually think it looks pretty cool.
Like it, yeah.
I'm not that big a fan of playing with Cap's costume color wise. Typically, I don't like that, but I think this costume looks great. Valerio did a great job with both the normal Cap suit and the stealth suit, and I want to see it in action.
My favorite thing I've seen in a while is the concept art that the character design that Shady has here for past Cap, and it's just a hyper detailed look at his gloves and boots.
Yeah,
and it's like that's Captain America. Like you've nailed it with just those two articles of clothing. Like outside of the blue, those pirate boots, that's original Cap. Love it.
and the wingtips on the helmet there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Chip's Batman ending the way that it ended temper your excitement at all?
No, it doesn't. I still think my conspiracy is that like Chip's end wasn't meant to be his end. And sure, I maybe hadn't cared much for his Batman run all as a whole, but Chip at Marvel has not missed for me. I just think he works better in that world. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it doesn't temper it for me either because Chip has ascended to a place where, like I didn't like gods, but that doesn't mean I'm not excited for Jonathan Hickman's next thing. Not everybody's gonna bat 100. So for me, it's like, okay, yeah, that didn't work out too great, but Chip's done other stuff that I really enjoyed. So why not? I feel like he can definitely do this. If he's got a story to tell, I'm seated to read it.
And especially if Howard the Duck shows up at some point.
Oh shit. Is he gonna be in the past too?
You never know. I don't know when he came to Duck from Duck World in like the 70s, so probably not.
No. All right. Samuel Summers with the $2 says Trish Stratus is actually the best Canadian import. You know what, Samuel? You're right, dude. You're right.
You'll be experiencing that export live.
Yes, I am looking to get some Stratisfaction because I will be at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
In it? You're going to be in it?
I'm in it, yes.
Okay.
I am in it.
Please tell me you took Logan Paul's spot.
No, I actually took Liv Morgan's spot.
Oh, okay. You got a bit of a James Ellsworth situation going on here.
No, Santini. Remember? Or Santina.
Yeah, that
Santina
gimmick
Marella.
that definitely did not age poorly. Sure, yeah.
Oh boy, dude. I was watching that shit recently and it was a little awkward. I wanted to read a comment that we got from Atomic Hound. He said, "Can we shout out the fine group of pals assembled for pre-pals? Great community discussion and forums." So pre-pals is something that happens on our Discord server. There is no cost associated. There's nothing like that. Our Discord is free to be on. And what happens is every Saturday before the show, like 10 or 9:30 Eastern, a bunch of pals get together and they just talk. They hang out. They talk about whatever they want to talk about, and it's a really amazing community experience that is hard to come by in any community space when it comes to comics. I showed up this morning for pre-pals, and I just sit in as a listener, and I love getting to hear your stories and your thoughts and your experiences in comics. So keep up the great work. Continue to come hang out for that. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, completely community run too. Organic, fun stuff.
Yeah. Jay Sage says, please invite Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar might apparate. He might just appear when I arrive in the snow.
That's more sure.
He's gonna say, Brother Sean, I'm disappointed in you. You know what I say. If it's snowing, we ain't going. If it's snowing, we ain't going. If it's snowing, we ain't going. That's what he's gonna say.
I need to get the Undertaker gong now for whenever you do anything like that.
Oh my goodness. Rami Darwish has arrived 3 hours early before your return flight. Is that like legitimate advice? Like, is it really a problem to get back? I need to know that.
I'm an anxious traveler in terms of timing and scheduling, so I'm always at flights like 3 hours early.
3 hours though. Damn, that's tough.
That's great reading time though. If you get there, you know where your gate is, you hunker down, and you get your backlog done. Well, I read digital, so easier for me.
Man, I don't know. Um, let's see. Atomic Hound says Brubaker was great, was the last great Cap. See you Tuesday night for the book club. Yes, indeed. Speaking of Captain America, we have a Captain America book club coming this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's Ed Brubaker, it's Steve Epting, it's Michael Lark, I believe, is on it. It's so many different amazing artists and Ed.
You're in it as well, the Winter Soldier.
Yes, yes. I am the Winter Soldier indeed. No, it's a great run. It's, in my opinion, the best Cap run. Nothing that has come out since has come close for me. And so I'm excited to talk about the first 25 issues. We will be live at 6 p.m. for that. Make sure you come and hang out with us. And then after that, you can catch me on the Near Mint Condition YouTube channel, where I will be live with Wonder Maddie for Old Reader, New Reader. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Then Wednesday, we will be live for Pals Pulls, special day of Wednesday at 6 p.m. because Thursday, Tyler and I will be live on Near Mint Condition again for their evergreen episode. So you will be catching the Comics Pals all week long.
Expect my voice to be gone after that Near Mint one. Those things are fun.
They're fun and they are very long, and I cannot wait for it. So that should be a great time. We've got a lot of stuff coming this week for you guys. We do a lot for you, and you do a lot for us, so we really appreciate it. Dan Trudeau said, Cap is a top 5 character for me, but I feel like there's nowhere new to go. It's just new riffs on old ideas. I think that there is nothing new under the sun. And so for me, that doesn't matter. If I see a new idea, that's great. But ultimately, I just want good stories. I don't care if it's a retread as long as it's high quality. The problem I had with Chip's run on Batman was that he was grave digging. Yeah, that was a part of it because he was grave digging extremely recent stuff. There were very specific ideas. It wasn't that he was retreading like generalized Batman ground. It's that he was doing specific things we had already seen. Like you're playing with Grant Morrison's stuff. You're playing with Snyder stuff. Like it was just too much of that. I think that's avoidable with Cap. But will Chip avoid it? I don't know. Cole said, I was hoping PKJ would get Cap. That's what I wanted to. That's really, really what I wanted, but we didn't get that.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
He's the guy, and that's going to happen one day. It has to.
His is he working on Hellhunters? Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's been fun.
Yeah. Who was it that I want? Yeah. Uncanny Suit said, Sean, can you tell us what The Rock was smoking last night? I can't tell you what The Rock was cooking, but I can tell you he was smoking rock. The Rock was insane last night. on SmackDown. My man wants Cody's butt. Okay,
He's trying to
I'll
snatch
put it that
souls out
simple.
there.
Yeah, he's trying to snatch Cody's soul, and Cody better watch out. Cody's going to Canada to meet The Rock. The Rock said, "Hey, Cody, will you give me your soul? I need an answer by two Saturdays from now." And he put his arms around that man and he embraced Cody Rhodes like a lover. That was highly sexualized.
He
So
said,
I don't
I
know.
want you, Cody.
Yeah, he said, "I want you. I want your soul. I want your body and soul to be mine." And then also, Uncanny Suit, brother, I saw you, bro. I saw you in Solid Monsters chat. I know you're a fan of the monster. I am too. I saw you there. Go ahead, Tyler. I gotta do it.
No, you just that was a bit of a pause moment. Fan of the monster. Oh, all right. Jeez. Okay.
The Solomon.
Sure. I literally I think I bumped into him at a hog show once. Which you should check one of those out, Sean. They're pretty fun. I think Mercedes Monet is wrestling at one of them coming up. It doesn't matter. The venue that they do it in had a mass shooting about a month ago, but yeah, it's fine. You're muted, John. Yeah. Okay. So I'll vamp by myself. Yeah. This chip run should be fun. On Cap. I have faith in Chip as a writer and as a creator, and like I know Chip used to be like the funny guy. I think he's kind of washed that stank away from his work as of late. Like it's not just going to be a funny book. Chip has written some of the best serious stuff out there. So I'm excited to see what he could do with this. I'd be curious to see what the supporting cast is. It looks like there's a new Howling Commandos coming out. Whether or not that's a direct relation to the past stuff, I don't know. I typically would love to see some Dum Dum Dugan, but I'm excited to see what else he could do.
Hello.
Good.
There we go. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and this is the most excited I have been for a Cap launch in a long time. So I'm looking forward to it. Matt Fisher with the 4.99. Maybe Cap will be transported to another world and fight a Red Skull shark. I'm hoping for a no on that one.
Is that a reference to something?
Is it I think is it a reference to Batman when he got transported to that alternate Gotham and he fought that weird Joker?
Okay, yeah, I thought the shark might have been a reference to something. Okay.
Maybe it's I'm just speculating. I don't know if that's accurate. Um yeah. So, all right, let's move forward. Let's talk about what I think was the biggest announcement from Marvel personally, and that is the Spider-Man Incursion, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. It is a miniseries that is coming from Marvel. Dennis Camp, Cody Ziegler, Jonah Sharf are going to be the creative team behind it. You kind of heard BJ pitch it earlier if you were around for that. And so it's going to focus on Miles Morales. Miles Morales. So this is the solicit. Launching in May, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion will be delivered by some of the most exciting comic talent working today. Paying off seeds planted by Ultimate Universe architect Jonathan Hickman at the very beginning of the new line, the long-awaited story finds original Ultimate Universe inhabitant Miles Morales swinging over to the new one for an adventure that brings him into contact with the characters and events of the line's 5 current series. It's a crossover saga, Ultimate style. The series will also lay the groundwork for startling developments on the horizon, including the return of the Maker. This is very exciting to me. I have no quarrel at all with Miles being involved in this. I think the biggest problem with Miles that I have had since Bendis left is simply that Marvel stopped doing stuff with him. Bendis was the Miles guy, and so he centered him a lot. Remember, think back to Civil War II. Miles Morales was the most important hero in that. He was playing the Spider-Man, the Peter role from the original Civil War. Since then, Miles has been ice cold. Something has to be done with him, and this is a great way to put him in the mix with the biggest thing going in Marvel.
Have him be the connective tissue between the two universes.
Yeah.
The other thing is like, can you throw him into the other universe at this point? Like, can he live there? I don't think so. Some people are debating that now. And like, I don't think this is a way to shove Miles off into his own universe because A, there's already a Peter there, so you're going to run into the same issue. They're not going to just suddenly make Ultimate, Spider-Man be a Miles book. They might make an Ultimate Miles Morales book, sure, but that just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. The creative team I'm excited for. I love everyone involved. Ziegler, I'm a little less familiar with, but I've heard good things, and the issues of his Spider-Man that I've read are good. I just haven't read a lot of it. And I kind of dig that costume. So it's cool to see an event happen in the Ultimate Universe. This isn't, the Maker coming back, but this is, laying the groundwork for it. So it's still pretty big. But incursion is what's curious to me. Because that is not a word they use lightly in Marvel Comics. That is specifically a thing with two worlds colliding. And I guess maybe it's symbolically that in this. Because the storyline pitch seems pretty straightforward. First of all, the Maker just giving him, I think it was like a business card, right? That was like his key to the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
The fact that his sister could just use it, like the Maker should have locked that thing down with some like Face ID or something. Like that seems a little too dangerous to just have anyone be able to use. But yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic for this.
So yeah, I mean, I really like the Miles book. I think Cody Ziegler's doing a great job with that series, and so this is I mean, obviously, he's the spearheader of Miles right now, so they're giving him this shot as a result. But I think this is a nice level up for Cody, an opportunity to do something that there will have a little more eyes on it. So I like that. But then you have Dennis Camp there, the steady hand, so to speak, who's been the guiding force behind the Ultimate Universe for a lot of this stuff. Ultimate Incursion was actually teased in that freaking time slide book.
Yeah. So was the X-Men stuff we're going to be talking about later. Yeah.
What's interesting, though, is that there, it wasn't Ultimate Spider-Man, it was Ultimate Incursion. So that makes me wonder, is this miniseries actually a tie-in to an event called Incursion that we will be getting later?
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, so there are a lot of questions right now, but ultimately, I find this to be very, very intriguing. So I can't wait for this.
Gavin
May
Guidry,
can't come soon enough.
Gavin Guidry says Incursion is going to be Marvel's version of Crisis. It almost is already.
It used to. It's kind of war, secret
Yeah,
slash
the
war.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess Incursion is becoming one of those things as well now. Matt Fisher dropped a couple of super chats on us. One for 199. I don't understand the love of Mercedes Monet. I mean, first of all, I think Mercedes Monet probably has as many haters as she does fans at this point. But second of all, dude, like, regardless of how you feel about her as a person, there's no question that she is a dynamite wrestler. She is one of the best women wrestlers, certainly working today, maybe of all time. She got to change that finishing move, but beyond that, she is very good.
Yeah, people seem to have trouble doing that finisher with her.
Yeah, it's just too awkward. I think she has had fine finishing moves. She doesn't need that.
The Four Horsewomen have maybe the worst finishers in wrestling that aren't submissions.
I didn't think about that. Bailey's just a belly to belly.
Yeah.
Charlotte's a kick, or
Yeah.
not a kick, but the flip over.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
And then Becky does the exploder, like, ugh.
which isn't even a finisher. Yeah.
Right.
It's all they're
those are
all submission based, which is fine. Just lean into it.
Yeah. And then the other 499 is I'd rather have them use Living Lightning or Firebird than Miles. So you just want them to just use the most obscure characters they can find.
Living Lightning. Jeez.
Who the heck is that?
I know Lightning. Isn't Living Lightning one of the UFOs?
The UFOs?
UFOs, yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea who that is.
Oh no, Living Lightning
Um,
is Lightning. Okay, yeah. He's one of
okay.
the he's on West Coast Avengers right now, actually, I think.
Cole says, not sure I like this personally. Too soon, and I feel like it undermines them building the lineup. It's hard to say, right? Because we don't know what it's actually going to be. And the fact that this is called Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, but it's not Peter. I think that's very interesting because then in that case, the ultimate part of it makes me think about the fact that Miles is an OG Ultimates character. And I like that. I like the way Marvel is playing around with that. But I don't think this is going to necessarily have huge implications for the rest of the Ultimate Universe outside of whatever Dennis Camp does. But I don't think this will be disruptive. That's just my feeling about it.
It is funny
Um,
seeing all the characters on the cover together.
yeah.
Like, what the hell is Ultimate Wolverine doing there? You don't know
Just
anything.
chilling.
You don't know what's going on. Black Panther, you're still walking around talking about, yeah, I'm going to fight you next month. And then Maystorm, like, you got to go. You got school to go to. What's going on here?
Word, go to school. Um, Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I don't think that cover. I'm trying not to read too much into that cover
Sure, yeah.
personally. But I think it's cool to see them together.
I like the costume. I like Miles' costume. That's his current one,
Hell
right?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I was a fan of the one where he had like the almost like a hoodie, like
Mhm.
up to his neck. He looked like a Bazooka Joe's friend from the bubblegum, Mort. Um, but I'll read it when it comes out.
I like the hoodie for sure. I just black kid hoodie. It's just I feel like
The swagger of a
of a black teen. Oh my god, that's a deep cut. Um, Dark Dragon X7 says, "Is it really too soon if the Makers event is only 6 months away from this event?" I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't think it's too soon. I think it's actually a perfectly fine time. We need something to happen to get us to that place. So, Mike Hanks says, "I think you guys could easily become a wrestling podcast. Maybe even interview Bailey or something. She would be funny." Tyler and I could do a wrestling podcast. The rest of those jokers, not so much.
It's not their
I've
bag.
wanted to do a wrestling podcast forever. I just don't know how to make that work here. I don't think that we have the uh, audience base to justify that. Go ahead, Tyler.
And bandwidth wrestling. There's so much wrestling that it is sometimes tricky to keep up with all of that because that's watching it and talking about all of it. So it's something I've always thought about though.
Yeah, yeah, I would love to do it. I would just need to know that it would have support because otherwise we'd have to start a new channel, and I'm not really trying to do that right now.
Secondary
Um,
channels are big right now.
yeah, that is true. That is true. That is very true. Worthy Ice Z says Miles is one of the best and most successful series out right now. Cody Ziegler is getting rave reviews. Yeah, I agree. I think the series is really good. I think the series is really, really good, and people are slacking on it. And then the second thing I wanted to say about the wrestling podcast thing was getting wrestlers on your podcast is very hard. They are not allowed to do any media. They have to do approved media, and they're going to look at your numbers. They're going to look at your engagement and all that shit. So you have to have a very robust channel, far superior to what we've got going on here, in order to facilitate that kind of interview. Unfortunately.
We'd have trouble just getting the WWE ID people.
Oh yeah, please, dude. That like we wouldn't even be able to get that. We can't even get we wouldn't even be able to get like fucking Zaya Lee just to pull a random name out of a hat.
I think
And
we can
she's a
get Xylee.
ghost.
I think we can get her.
Is
She's indie now, so
oh,
yeah.
okay. I wasn't sure if she was employed anymore at the WWE.
No, I saw her at Bloodsport a couple weeks back.
Okay. Matt Fisher with the 199 says, "Call the show NSO, New Sean Order." I like that a little bit. I like that.
What about me if I'm on?
Oh yeah.
Jeez. All right.
Oh shit. Uncanny Suit says CM Punk did write comic books. You can make it happen. Um, Yeah, dude. Did I ever tell you about the time I met CM Punk? That was fun. Mike Hank says, for real, the YouTubers I've seen are really small. Dude, shoot me a link. If you can show me a contracted WWE superstar on the channel with similar numbers to ours, I would love to know about it. But all right, you guys don't come here to listen to our wrestling talk. Let's keep things moving. Spider-Man and Wolverine are teaming up again. The success of Deadpool and Wolverine potentially is leading to Spider-Man and Wolverine. Although you don't need a reason to do a Spider-Man and Wolverine team up book. Mark Guggenheim and Carr Andrews are the team here. Andrews coming off of Spider-Man Reign #2. I don't even care what this is about. I don't need to know. It's an easy buy. Andrews is a tremendously talented artist whose work I always buy, and Guggenheim is a fine writer. So I will easily be picking this up.
Spider-Man in the cover here, Carrie Andrews covers are pretty cool. They're anatomically they're a little weird for me sometimes. But Spider-Man looks like he has the Akira virus thing, where his body is just morphing, and he's got muscles where muscles don't exist.
I love it.
And miss me with Spider-Man with glowing eyes. Never been a fan of that. But I think Wolverine looks really cool in this. R.I.P. Wolverine ever getting top billing again with some of the people he's being teamed up with. But this would be one of those ones where we're probably going to read issue 1 on Palace Pulls. I'll check it out then.
Yeah, for sure. I love this cover, dude. Oh my god, the Carr Andrews style just does something for me. I love the webbing on the cover. Those blacks, the deep blacks there. I just love that. That reminds me of like his Spider-Man. Just reminds me of like McFarlane for some reason. I don't know if that's
That's
I don't know
fair.
if others.
It's
Yeah.
the eye size compared to the rest of the mask. Yeah.
Oh shit! Last Young Renegade said it at the same time. Yeah, totally. And Ben Loudly there as well. Yeah, that's exactly the vibe it gives me. And like Todd McFarlane is one of the best artists ever to me. So I love that. I love that we get somebody who's as talented as Andrews doing this in the style of McFarlane. It's a beautiful thing. I can't wait for this. Should be fun.
My one gripe with the cover is that it looks too layered to me. Like the webbing looks like, when you use like the magic wand tool in Photoshop and it can't quite get the fine details, so there's like a weird glow, and it's just layered behind the background, which seems like standard background. Like I think that's my main issue with Carrie Andrews currently, is that it seems so digitally rendered that it takes me out sometimes. Like they seem
Yeah.
obviously layered instead of it being a cohesive piece. But it's just a cover.
Matt Fisher with the 199 says, "Call it DXT, Degeneration Tyler."
I think we should probably have a middle ground where both of us get. But hey, notice how I was like, oh, maybe I want Sean's name in the title, and then you put Sean's name in the title, and Sean's like, yeah, I like that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Matt Fisher with the 499 says, "Back to comics. They can't use Peter yet. He's still too new." What do you mean? Peter? You mean the fresh baby, just born Peter Parker?
Goo Goo Gaga? No. This is Spider-Man and Wolverine have been teaming up. Remember Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine years back?
Yeah. Yep. Who was on that? That was pretty cool visually, at least.
That was, I had it up like 2 seconds ago. It was Jason Aaron and Adam Kubert.
Yeah.
That's when
yeah. I wanted to say Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when Wolverine had the Astonishing costume with the X like on the chest piece.
Fire. Uncanny Suit with the 499. What Marvel DC crossover would you guys want to see, and why is it Zatanna and Jean Grey? Wolverine and Batman with Capullo on art has my vote. What do you say, Tyler?
I say I don't want Capullo on this. I think you need someone a little more, not house style, but a little more superhero comics on something this big. Capullo is a little too stylized. I would want something a little more straightforward. In terms of characters, oh man, that's a tough one. Probably like, man, I almost said friggin' X-Men and Titans. That already happened. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hawkeye, Kate Bishop with Green Arrow, or like a Black Canary could be fun.
Give me okay, give me Black Canary and Jessica Jones. I want that. Give me She-Hulk and Big Barda. Oh my god. She-Hulk and Big Barda, I'm done.
Big meaty woman slapping meat.
Hell yeah, give me that meat battle. Slap that meat. Slap it. And also Jay Sage with the 4.99. Why are we so afraid of crossovers? When it comes to Absolute and Ultimate, people just don't want them to mix with mainline. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday right back to you, Jay. Thank you so much for that. I think part of it is people have a bad taste in their mouth from crossovers that have burned them. I think a lot of recent crossovers haven't been very good, and some people feel like they're never good. So that's the biggest part of it. Ultimate and Absolute are doing really well right now, and people don't want the stink of a crossover to infect those spaces.
It's PTSD, is what it is. Because usually the crossover it means that it's the last ditch effort to maintain that AU.
Yeah.
It's the last straw that breaks the camel's back until that universe just gets thrown to the wayside.
Yeah. By the way, I'm going to throw another link to our Discord server because I want people to join. I'm getting pings right now that it's active. People are just sharing news and shit.
Yeah, there's some X-Men
X-Force,
cancellation news. Yeah,
Knicks and X Factor are canceled. Shit, that sucks. Come hang out with us. It's always fun. Like, you guys, if you're a listener of this show, there's no reason why you're not on our Discord. You should absolutely be on the Discord.
notice how the Team X-Men books are the ones that got canceled.
Yeah,
all those solo books, fine.
A lot of them are minis as well. I think as far as solo, like the ongoings are what? Wolverine, Phoenix,
Storm.
Storm.
I think that's it for the solos.
Well, Psylocke, Magic, and Laura Kinney. I don't know if they're. I think they're minis. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're minis as well. They're like what Mystique and Dazzler were, I think.
Okay. So yeah. So there you go. I think the majority of the books feel like team books, and quite frankly, there's too many books. I said when this was announced that there would be culls within the first few months, and 10 is like the bare minimum right now for Marvel series wise. And so these series underperformed, and they're cutting them. It sucks because I loved X-Force, but it's business.
It's also a way to flood the market with titles for trades.
Yeah. And make room for new series, which Marvel is absolutely going to be doing. Luna says, Mary Jane and Lois Lane. I am with you on that, Luna. And also, Luna, expect a message from me with your code a little bit later on. When we get out of here, I'll get that to you. N2B 1986. That's an interesting name. I would love to know the origin of that one. It says Constantine and Scarlet Witch. That's a good one. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Flaming Jelly Bean says Daredevil and Nightwing. Julia Raoul says Donna Troy and You Go Girl. Who's that?
You Go Girl is from Ecstatics.
You know what I like about you, Tyler? If I say who's that, you generally have an answer.
I got all useless shit up here.
Yeah. Flaming Jelly Bean says Daredevil and Damian Wayne. What the heck?
The devil and the son of the devil. Interesting.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I like that. All right. All right. Let's keep things rocking and rolling. Torn Gronbeck and Andre Riso are launching a Spider-Girl series. You like Spider-Boy? Have you been buying Spider-Boy? Did you need more Spider young people? We're getting it. So this character was introduced by Dan Slott and Paco Medina. I believe that was during the Spider-Boy run. And we know that Spider-Boy existed to pop numbers. Like, that is a book that they did to make money. And it feels like this is just spinning off of that. I know there are people who like the Spider-Boy series. I read the first issue, and I had to leave. I had to jump off because there was nothing there for me. Um, However, this does have Torn Grondbeck, who's one of my faves,
She's
so I will
great.
be buying
Yeah.
this.
I want to read the quick rundown of who Spider-Girl is this version. Created by Dan Slott and Paco Medina last year, this young new hero from Hawaii originally trained under Bullseye to be the villainous Funhouse. As a mutant with unique power-absorbing abilities, her powers recently went haywire when she fought Spider-Boy. Huh. That's one of those things where it's like, I guess I gotta read that because that's a lot to condense into 2-3 sentences.
Yeah, but like, are you really gonna go back though and read that?
No, I'm not. No. It's just
Me
like
neither.
she's from Hawaii. She was trained by a Daredevil villain, Bullseye, but also a mutant that becomes a spider character. Hold on.
Bugged out.
What kind of Marvel dice did you roll for this one?
Yeah. It feels like one of those things where like if you let the AI make matches for you
Sure,
in a
yeah.
WWE game, it'll be like Stephanie McMahon versus The Undertaker in a ladder match in the parking lot. Like
Oh,
what
that
for
just
the
sounds
world
like
championship.
that just sounds like late '90s Raw. So
Fair, actually. That could have been a match. Yeah. I, I I don't care about this outside of the Torn Grondbeck aspect, so I will be buying it for her. And if it's good, I'll keep it up. But this is not something I need. There are too many spider people.
I like the David Nakayama cover.
Yeah,
Showing like her Hawaii, it's a New York stuff, and I think the costume is pretty cool. It's different. It's modern, but if it's on this feels like a Palace Poll book that could win.
sure.
But we'll see.
Let's hit a few more comments. You guys are so active today. Can I just tell you I love you? I love you if you
Me?
were listening to this. Well, yes,
Oh,
you, but that's a
okay.
given. We know each other.
You know,
These people don't know me, but I love them anyway. I love you guys for supporting us. I love you guys for sticking around. I love you for the engagement. And you know who I love? I love Lucas Hallner. Lucas Hallner says Boom Boom and Harley Quinn. Boom Boom and Harley Quinn would make my head explode.
that's a Leah Williams joint written all over it.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. And we would have to get her on the show here, but I wouldn't survive that. I wouldn't survive it.
Her boom boom in Exterminators is fantastic.
Yes.
Best boom boom since Ellis's Next Wave.
Absolutely.
Also, maybe the only boom boom since, but
Well, the other thing that I wanted to say about our friend Lucas Hallner is that Lucas actually wait, where is it? I saw it. Yeah. Lucas joined us on Patreon. He became a member of the Palsverse. Thank you so much, Lucas, for doing that this morning. Really appreciate you. I love when you guys do that on Saturday on the AM so I can shout you out and celebrate you while we are live. Lucas, my brother, I got signed comics from you. You're just the man this week. I got signed comics from you, and you joined us on Patreon. Thank you so much, brother. We love you. Um, Matt Fisher with the 199 says Paul versus Darkseid. Yes, the two most evil men in their respective universes collide. I'd read it.
that's true. I think Paul wins.
Musa Rizik says, super excited for this crossover because it's the first time I'll experience it in my generation. I did not read the last one when it was released. That's in reference to the Marvel and DC stuff. That's exactly what I said earlier. And I think a lot of us are in that boat. Most of us who are in the new, quote unquote, new generation of comics readers that started in the mid 2000s never got to see a crossover. We could have read the old ones, but nothing new for us. And that's what's most exciting about this. Is it feels like it's for us. Um, and so I can't wait. I can't wait. What else do we have? We've got so much more. Bring on the bad guys. That's what Marvel is saying. That is a event that Marvel is doing. It's a weird like series of one shots that essentially make up an event. I feel like the word event in this case
It,
is being used to sell comics.
yeah, it feels like
Um,
more of a showcase.
yeah. So it's gonna be 7 different one shots. The first one is Doctor Doom. That's got Mark Guggenheim, who is back in the stable, I guess, with art by Stefano Raphael. That's incredible. Libra Mayo cover, holy shit. And then,
Yeah.
did you want to comment on that, Tyler? Sorry.
Well, I wanted to comment on the whole thing as a whole, but yeah.
Okay. So, and then we've got in July, Bring on the Bad Guys, Green Goblin #1, Abomination #1, and Loki #1. And then in August, Red Skull, Dormammu, and Mephisto. Now, that is crazy because that's like the lineup of the biggest and baddest villains that Marvel has. I mean, you're really only missing like Galactus and Kang out of
Paul.
this. Paul,
Yeah.
excuse me. I don't know how Abomination got on here. That's fucking random.
They needed a tank. It's like a Marvel Rivals roster.
Fair enough. We don't have creative for the rest of the books. So that's a mystery. The other mystery is a new character who's being added to the fold, and that's Sister Sorrow. We don't know a lot about her. So we will have to learn as things play out. This is not the first Bring on the Bad Guys that Marvel has done. This was an older thing they did. They're bringing that name back. What do you make of this, Ty?
Yeah, the old Bring on the Bad Guys was like the third volume in a series of Stan Lee books that were like, or they're not quite graphic novels. There was Origins and Son of Origins, which I actually have my dad's copy when it was originally printed, where it's essentially it shows the origins of characters, and then like text describing who they were. So they did one for the bad guys, with Bring on the Bad Guys with the third volume, and I understand it's a pre-established thing. I don't think it's a very snappy title. Like it's a very Stan Lee title. I don't know if it really feels right in a modern sense, but all these things are just going to be Doom #1. It's going to be, Mephisto #1. So whatever, that's fine. I will be excited when I see the creative teams. Like the Doom one, I think the art is more exciting to me than Guggenheim.
Yeah.
But if they have good creative teams on this, I'm cool with a whole bunch of fun little one shots that lead into stuff possibly. And the new Sister Sorrow, is that her name?
Yeah.
Has Sean written all over it, so I'm sure you'll like it.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm into this. I don't have any problem with this at all. Call it an event, whatever. It's just a word. This should be fun. Gavin, though, pointed out something really cool about the Spider-Girl cover that you put up.
Yeah.
This is an excellent point, and again, like we need an artist on this pod. Gavin, do you want another job where you won't get paid? Because you can do this show with us. Gavin said, I like that when she puts her shoes together, the outsoles make a spider symbol, and that's I'm looking at that now, and you're completely right. That's sick as hell.
He's teaching Marco the ways, in a little discussion. So
Yeah, but Marco's like
not here.
and that and also that. Thank you for that though, Gavin. That's a very good point. Matt Cosmo says, in late, what's good, everyone? What's good with you, Matt Cosmo? How you doing, brother? Dan said, Dan had a good question. Well, it's a tough question to answer, but we're gonna do it because it's a new Dan. We've got the old Dan left, so we've got a new one. What would you recommend if someone could only ever read one comic series ever? Tyler, you're on the spot.
Ever, and they can't read anything else going forward.
Yes.
Oh, the first one that jumped to mind, and I don't know why. I'm just going to say it because I'm on the spot. Infinity Crisis. Which is weird coming from a Marvel guy. If you're asking me Marvel, then Daredevil Born Again.
This is a really, really hard question to answer. And whatever I say is going to be wrong. But, dude, if I could only ever have read Secret Wars, if that was the only comic I ever read, I would have been happy with that. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the OG Secret Wars. So I'm going to just say that.
The OG one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's what I'm going to go with, Dan. Tilo says Watchmen. That's a better answer than mine.
You ain't wrong.
Julia Raul says, Sir Octopus, Sean is brilliant but lazy. You know what, Raul? You're not the only person who would say that about me. So there you go. I appreciate it.
Put it on a shirt.
I probably resemble the lazy part more than the brilliant part, but what are you gonna do? Uncanny Suit said All-Star Batman and Robin. Baffles you, pisses you off, is unfinished. Basically nails comics in a nutshell. Oh my goodness.
That is right.
That's a great answer. Aaron Ruiz says, "Wait, are we talking about a single issue or the book franchise?" I would think it'd be too hard to say one issue, right? Like what the hell? What I couldn't tell you one issue of anything. So I would imagine like a run or a series or something like that.
One
Ultimate
book,
Spider-Man. Go ahead.
like one book, if you were to pick it up at like a Barnes and Noble or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Something that fits in a book. Samuel Summers gives a great answer. Ultimate Spider-Man. Um, but that is across multiple volumes, so I don't know. Hopefully that answers your question, Dan, and thank you for asking it. Let's move on. Silver Surfer is gonna die. Marvel plans on killing the Silver Surfer ahead of his film, where he will make his debut, or well, the Silver Surfer character idea will make its debut in the MCU with Fantastic Four first steps. And so, of course, the logical thing to do is to kill the Silver Surfer. Now, every time that we talk about a collaboration, a synergy with film and television or film and comics, I always have to be the guy to remind you people that Marvel and DC both like to kill characters that are about to debut on screen or have a movie or whatever the case may be. I will say this until I'm blue in the face. When The Dark Knight was coming out, the most profitable, successful Batman movie ever, Batman was dead. That is the play. Doctor Strange, my man was dead when Multiverse of Madness was coming out. That's what they do. So this is no surprise to me whatsoever. It's in their playbook, and just needed to remind you of that. The creative team is Greg Pak and Sumit Kumar. They're the ones that are going to be responsible for killing the Silver Surfer. Tyler, is this a sin?
Uh, is this the way they give us our DEI shalabal in main continuity? I don't know. I thought DEI was illegal. It's fine. Sumit Kumar doing Marvel stuff, hype. I like Sumit Kumar a lot. And Greg Pak actually wrote some of my favorite Silver Surfer. So cool to see him back, doing the character. I'll check it out. Not excited, but I'll check it out.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm not excited either. Marvel has done a lot of Silver Surfer miniseries and stuff like that. And like, I only have so much bandwidth for like miniseries after miniseries with the same character. And Silver Surfer has reached that point for me where I just don't need it. I feel baited by these. And so I don't really care if the Silver Surfer is going to die, quite frankly, because the Silver Surfer is not a part of my life.
It's a cheap pop. That's all it is.
Yep.
Great cover though.
Yeah. Cover's nice. But I could do without this, quite frankly. Scott Simpson, who was gifted a channel membership a little bit earlier, says, Tyler, can you read this comment? My YouTube is active.
Yeah, so he said, "Thank you all so much for the membership. It made my week. I'll catch up with the guys later today." And then he threw us a couple pal sets here, using his membership to its fullest potential there.
I love it. Thank you, Scott Simpson. You are very welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Can you also please read Hecatron's comment?
Yeah, let me work through these. Hecatron had to miss about an hour of the stream, but just from what I've watched, it's been an epic Comics Pal Saturday. These streams in the Discord have been saving my life lately. Love y'all.
Well, Hecatron, I'm sorry your life needs saving, but you know what, dude? Real talk, I think right now is a hard time for a lot of us, for almost all of us. And what we get to have is each other, right? Like what we get to have that we have control over is the spaces that we're in, the things that we engage with. And so our hope is that every time you engage with us, it's a positive experience. And I got to tell you, Hecatron, you have been a very incredible member of this community thus far. And I'm happy you found us, brother. Thank you.
And I appreciate your name being family friendly.
And I got to say, your origin is in my top 5 of like my enjoyment of writing these origins. I really loved yours. Your name inspired me so much. Weirdly enough. But let's see. Any other good comments?
Near said, "Is that my Trump impression or Colin Farrell Penguin impression?" That was my impression of a guy who like lives in Staten Island. So neither. I guess it's more like the Penguin.
And also, yes, Donald Trump. Um Matt Cosmo said, since they like to kill characters ahead of films, do y'all think that might spell the fate of some of the Fantastic Four during One World Under Doom? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. If anything, it might spell the fate of Doom. But yeah, I don't think so. I think that's too big of a property not to have concurrently on the stands. And I don't think they do She-Hulk, joins because one of the members can't do it, sort of thing.
It's funny because they're literally bringing She-Hulk in with the next issue of FF, but I don't feel like that's
That's
an indicator of that.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah,
It's like Spider-Man showing up. Water's wet.
exactly. And also a Matt Fisher super chat. These are the normal things in life. Matt drops 4.99 on us. Both of you, would you rather be a penciler, inker, or colorist?
I don't know if there's a rather. I can't do any.
What would you do if you could do?
If I could do, the one that makes more money, so a penciler. But
I go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you were like gun to my head, which one could you do right now? I could try inking. I don't know if I could try the other two.
I would love to be a penciler. In the sense that like if I had the talent to do any of these, that's the one that would bring me the most joy and happiness would be to be able to bring those characters to life. Um, I was looking at I forgot what it was. I was looking at some comic book image recently and it was so amazing, right? And I was looking at that shit and I was like, that probably took a long time to do. And it looks like it would be annoying to do that. And that's how I know I'm not meant to be a comic book artist because I looked at that shit and all I thought about was the effort that it would take me to do it. And that's why I wouldn't do it. But I appreciate the hell out of people who have that talent. Like in my limited, very limited experience in writing comics and working with artists over the years, the greatest experience is when you write a script or you write a character description or you write whatever you write, and then somebody comes back to you and brings that to life. That is an incredible feeling.
Gavin Gidry asks, "Can I answer?" I think we know
No.
what you would pick.
Hecatron wants to plug the Department of Truth Book Club. It's a community event that will be taking place Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's completely community run and operated for you by you. It does not involve the Comics Pals, but one of us or more of us could show up. You never know.
Man, can somebody record that one? Mondays are like my go to the movie nights, so I'm seeing Vertigo on Monday, but I'm kind of curious about one. Jeez.
Yeah, I want to go, but we just have so much stuff going on this week that I don't know that I'll be able to attend. But I would love to talk about Department of Truth, man.
I'll at least follow up in the chat with you. Not while I'm seeing the movie though.
Gavin said colorist. Gavin, you could do that. Just pick up the color pencil there.
Yes, all comics colored with colored pencil.
Yeah.
We know which one Sean didn't pick.
Dude, I used to do my Pokemon fucking comic books when I was a little kid. I didn't even realize I was making comics, but I was writing words and I was drawing little pictures and I had my little colored pencils. I had the blue for Squirtle, I had the orange
Did,
for fucking Charmander.
did you do like the outlines in like a heavier color and then you colored in with a little more lighter shade? That's how I used to color.
No. I had no talent.
I don't think I had it either, but Jay
Well,
Sage.
you knew something. Go ahead.
Jay Sage with the 4.99 for crossovers. Superman / Captain Marvel. Carol is a lot like Lois. Monet Saint Croix. I don't know, I probably butchered that one. Gavin, correct me. And Yara Flor and Cap / Wonder Woman. Bat Family with Spider Family and Daredevil with IFGA.
Iron Fist and Green Arrow.
Oh, Spider Family and Daredevil. Okay.
Yeah. Jay Sage, Superman, Captain Marvel. Wow, that's an interesting combination. Captain America and Wonder Woman I would like to see. That's interesting to me for some reason. I don't know why.
She's going to hold his shield and cry in a cave.
Mothman says I want to be a comics artist, but I think it would have to be a solo anything because I don't think my health will let me work on a schedule. So all of the above. Hey dude, um I don't know your health situation, so if I'm speaking improperly, I apologize ahead of time. don't let anything stand in the way of what you want to do. If that's something that you're serious, that you mean to say, like you want to be a comics artist, do that shit, bro. That doesn't mean you work for Marvel or DC. You could do your own book that you write and you draw, and that could go out on Webtoon or it could go out wherever, and we can love it. It doesn't mean it's going to be seen by the world, but it will make you happy to have accomplished something.
You say I think it would have to be a solo. Don't think, just do. What did that green little shit from Star Wars say? Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah,
Yogurt, right? Yeah,
Yoder.
just do it. Just give it a shot. You won't know until you try. You can keep ideating as much as you want, but if you're not doing, what's the point? Give it a go.
Entertain me with a 5 spot. So the new ASM #1 says Peter gets a new love interest, and I saw it's the woman he just broke up with, Shay. So how is that new? Unless they live together. Well, you said new Amazing Spider-Man #1. How the fuck is that new? I feel like every time we get a new #1, it's just that we're going back to the well. We're going back to that old ex that it's not right. The relationship ain't right, but there's something that keeps you coming back. And I think it's one of those situations.
It's Spider-Man.
Keith Canberra says the DC books that came out this week have a sneak peek at Absolute Flash. Any interest there? Thank you, Keith, for the question. Appreciate you being with us. It was great. I actually checked it out. It's very brief. There's not too much to write home about. We tend to not talk about those kinds of previews here just because like not that much to go off of. But I think that book's gonna be pretty good. Tyler, did you look at it at all?
I don't read the previews because I'm going to read the book.
Yep.
I don't like to have to reread things, so I'm excited for the book. So that'll be fun.
And we were at Comic-Con together, so you saw the initial artwork at least.
Yeah.
And you were excited?
Yeah. It's more traditional than most of the other Absolute books. Like this, the art could be in any other DC book, which I'm fine with. But the dynamic and the idea of this super young Wally is appealing to me.
Hell yeah. All right. Moving forward from the death of Silver Surfer, is the rise of me, because Emma Frost, the White Queen, is coming. She's not coming. She's getting a new series. And that series is debuting in June of this year. The White Queen and the Winter Soldier. That is the crossover that I want. And when I say Winter Soldier, I ain't talking about Bucky, baby. I'm talking about me.
Sean, the variant that I have on the stream, is that the one that you bought?
Yep. Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's that is the cover for Exceptional X-Men #6.
Got it. Okay. Cool. Yeah. We know nothing about creative team, so
Yay.
would be nice. I guess we'll find out next month because that
Yeah.
May solicit just came out. So this is a
Yeah.
June book. We'll figure it out soon.
Sure. All right, Marvel. Give Emma her own series. Anybody can get a series. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the X-Men, frankly.
I think I like Emma a lot. I can see her kind of her being interesting enough to lead a title. But supporting cast is going to be really interesting on this for me.
Oh my god.
What happened?
Yo, I just noticed what is on the cover that you put there. What? When did Dr. Umar and Marvel team up?
Oh, well, I didn't do that. Funny how that happens.
Yo, he's looking over the shoulder. See, bro, now when I am in the soapbox corner, right? I'm going to see Dr. Umar. I'm going to have visions of him in my mind. I don't need that shit. Get him off my screen.
He might need to set you straight, you know? I think it's
How did he
fine.
get
It's
there?
fine to have that guy on your shoulder. You know, just not like the devil or angel on your shoulder, but like just there.
Right. Who is it? So it's Dr. Umar and it's Miley Cyrus or who would be
Cyrus, the antithesis to Dr. Umar?
Right, exactly.
Who's king of the snow bunnies?
King of the
Yeah,
Snow Bunnies?
yeah.
Oh
Dr.
shit.
Umar's anti.
Okay. Okay. So that's
I
a
almost said
great
OJ.
question.
No.
Ooh, even I didn't say that one. King of the Bunnies. Who? Seal?
He had Heidi Klum, right? Yeah.
He had Heidi Klum. That's a
Yeah.
big deal. Um, damn,
I
I
don't
don't know.
know. Yeah, I don't know.
There's got to be a great answer somewhere that I'm just like whiffing
Kanye's
on.
had some run-ins.
No, 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 no. Ooh, that name.
Well, I'm saying I dead named him. He just goes by Ye now. Sorry.
I don't know. I don't know who the King of the Bunnies is. Damn. Well, it should be me, realistically. Near said that deep dive on Patreon was wild. Listen, Near, I did that for you. I did that for you, and I did that for Mrs. Near. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. And I appreciate the support that led to it.
I,
Thank you so much.
I googled King of Snow Bunnies, and there's a guy whose TikTok account is that.
Well, there you go. Go follow him. Oh my God. Absolute Overthinker says, never forget Frederick Douglass's first wife was the only legitimate one, Sean. Don't get it twisted. I hear it, bro. I hear it. I hear it. Eric Carter wants to talk about comics for some reason.
Cool.
He says all these solo X books are becoming exhausting. You get a book and you get a book. Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like if you are a woman character in the X line, the likelihood of you getting a comic is very high right now. That's what it feels like.
We get a Jubilee book by the end of next year.
We get a Jubilee book by the end of June. Like that would not surprise me even a little bit.
I mean, man, I say that I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I'm at the point where it's just like, all right, give me it, I'll check it out. If I like it, I like it. If not, it's nothing.
Yeah. Matt Cosmo, I ranked up on Marvel Rivals while listening to that deep dive. Much thanks. You know what?
Nice.
I'm happy to provide motivation. I'm very happy that you were aided by my explanation of my love of the bunnies. All right, go ahead, Tyler.
I was gonna say I was doing really good and competitive with a thing yesterday. Having
Ooh,
fun with him.
nice, nice,
Oh,
nice, nice.
C.W. Gordon saying, "Give me a Rasputin series now. Bring her back.
Bring her back.
She was so cool. She was the best part of Latter Day, Krakoa."
Yeah, I agree with that. Little bit of Ghost Machine news. First Ghost is the Brad Meltzer book that we've been waiting on since I feel like the beginning of Ghost Machine, since the very earliest days of it. We knew that this was a book that was coming, but we just, we haven't gotten anything. And Brad Meltzer's obviously a very busy, successful novelist, so he doesn't really have a lot of time for comics. And I suspect that's why we've been waiting so long for this book. But now, not only do we know it's coming out this year, but we also know who's going to be drawing it, which was one of the other question marks. The artist behind First Ghost is going to be Gene Ha, who did Top 10 with Alan Moore. He's done some Batman stuff, some different things here and there. Gene Ha has done a lot of amazing work in comics, and this will probably be another in a series of great work.
Gene worked on, I think, Morrison's Action Comics too. I think that New 52 stuff. Some of that. I don't know. First Ghost kind of feels like the Veer Mahan of comic books, where it's like, First Ghost is coming. It's coming. It's gonna come. You'll get it. They're edging us way too hard for this book. Give me something. Like the fact that they couldn't even do this announcement with a cover is frustrating. Because I do want to read this. I like Brad Meltzer as a writer, and I know he's busy. He has a lot of spinning plates, but it'd be nice to get a cover. Like if you're gonna announce an artist, you should announce an artist with art.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's an excuse ever not to make an announcement with art included, unless it's like the DC Marvel thing. Like, oh, all right, they want to get people hyped, and it's okay, fine. But like outside of that, art should always accompany an announcement.
Well, and they didn't tell us an artist for that. You're telling us an artist here. Show us what the artist is.
That's yeah, exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. Is Gavin still here? Gavin, do you agree with that? Because I don't think that's controversial. Like, if you're gonna tell me who's drawing something, or you're gonna make an announcement that says, Emma Frost is coming, here's the writer, and not say the artist, that none of those things work for me. I am a comics fan. I want to see art associated with my announcements if we know creative.
It's like Taco Bell announcing a new item. I'm hungry, guys, and not showing you what it looks like. You know,
Yeah.
like
It
you
doesn't
gotta
make
give
any
me
sense.
something.
Doesn't make any sense at all. But the other big piece of this that was unknown to us before is that Jeff Johns is co-writing this book.
That is true. That is true, and I wonder if that's just due to like Meltzer being busy,
That's my summation. Yeah.
and it's also part of the unnamed side of things. So like that is all Jeff.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense as well.
I'm excited for it in the sense that like I'm dying to see it, but it's like this is taking quite some time, we got to get there. Um we have been doing this show for nearly 3 hours and I didn't even realize that. This I feel like this show's been going by so fast. There's so much that we were still going to talk about. Like this is crazy. We were going to talk about Donnie Cates, we were going to talk about the giant size stuff. I don't know if we can get to that.
Maybe save me some stuff for next week.
Right. Yeah, you guys might want to get into that stuff. What I want to make sure we get to though, for sure, is because we're not done. Don't leave. Don't take that as the idea that we're headed out. What I want to get to is our number one Captain America moments. So we've been doing it all month, and this is the last Saturday of this month, and tomorrow is actually the last Sunday of the month. So that means a hangout is in order. We will be making that announcement officially on the Discord. All of our patrons who have unlocked access will be able to come hang out with us tomorrow on Discord at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I hope to see as many of you there as possible. But we are deep in cap mode right now. So our number one Captain America moment, Tyler. Why don't you hit us with that?
As my cat makes biscuits on me. Yeah, so mine is Captain America and Civil War. Just as a whole. Hold on, my allergies kicking my ass. 1 sec.
Yeah, we'll let Tyler get back to it here in just a moment.
Man, don't
There
be
you
allergic
go.
to cats and have cats. I would say, yeah, so Captain Civil War really gave me an understanding who that character was. Captain America as a character was more of a symbol for me previous to that, before I got into comics. He's the guy with the American flag on his chest. But in Civil War, he really that's like a thesis statement on who Cap is. He stands up for what is right, whether or not that agrees with the American government at the time. And I specifically think of that page where it's in like the negative zone prison thing where it's a double page splash where it's Cap leading his team versus Iron Man's team, and that blew my mind as a youth reading that. So that just really the bits with Punisher, the bits with Spider-Man, it really is just that good and that emblematic of who I think Steve Rogers is, and I think since then that characterization is pretty much solidified in comics going forward.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm with you. My number one moment is from from the same book. My number one moment is something that the other guys have referenced before, but this is when I feel like I finally understood Captain America and what he's willing to do for this country. And that's actually when he gives up at the end of Civil War. When he is fighting with Iron Man and Iron Man has been disabled, he got shut down. I think it was by the Vision. And he gets shut down, and Captain America is just whooping his ass. And he looks up. I think he gets tackled by some people. And he looks up and he looks around and he sees that people are watching him beat up Iron Man and that this is not what they want.
Yep.
That this civil war has put people in danger. And it's not about I think people have misinterpreted that moment in some ways. It's not Captain America saying, Iron Man, you're right. It's not Captain America saying, it's not even the people saying we don't like Cap. It's, hey, the way we are handling this is wrong. And I, Captain America, am standing in the way of the will of the people. We have systems in place, we have ways of dealing with this. And sometimes, even if I believe that I'm right, even if I believe so much in what I am saying that I'm willing to fight for it, sometimes you have to let things play out. And I think Captain America made the right decision, but it's a decision that most people would not be able to make. And the fact that it's him who's able to do that shows you who he is as a man. He was willing to put his pride aside, his ego aside, to admit to allow himself to be taken into custody, to allow himself to be seen as wrong, all of that because he knew that there was a greater good at stake that didn't include him in that moment. It taught me a lot about him. It taught me a lot about what it means to be a hero. And it actually taught me a lot about what it means to be a human being. So that's my favorite Cap moment, but it's also one of my favorite moments ever in comics because he makes a decision that most people, let alone comic superheroes, would never make. I love it.
It really cements him as being like the head of the Trinity. You know, like that decision and that, you know, being able to drop ego like that completely
Yeah.
made him
Yeah.
win essentially, even though he loses.
Exactly. It takes a while, but in the end, yeah, you're right. Cap wins. And by the way, that's how it works in life. Like, not to make this a political thing, but you could be down on things right now, right? But the tables always turn and the
Pendulum.
poles always shift. The pendulum, thank you. The pendulum always swings. When I was a teenager, I couldn't believe how bad things were, under the administration at that time. And then things changed. So things always change. And I feel like Captain America ultimately came out on the winning side. So that's our top 5 Captain America moments. I guess Marco and Cale, excuse me, can present theirs to you guys next week.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, don't miss out on the capper of our Captain America month, Captain America by Ed Brubaker, Steve Epting, and everybody else, this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on our channel. Can't wait for that.
That's gonna be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, totally. Tilo says, I hate that ending with a passion, but why? What was like I've never been able to understand. Like I feel like go ahead.
I can see how some can think it's anticlimactic in terms of action, in terms of pacing, but I think it's still the right call.
Yeah, like what would you have preferred? Like should Cap have beaten Iron Man to death?
Hell
Should
yeah.
Iron Man should Iron Man have been like soundly defeated and arrested? Like I think it works in the context of just that series. But B, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, Tyler, we got incredible storytelling out of that exact ending.
The Mighty Avengers New Avengers split. Peak. I know people say peak a lot. No, that was peak back then.
Tony, director of Shield,
Yeah. That led into
but
like
that
that Eddie Granov drawn Iron Man. What was it? Iron Man director of Shield, I think it was. Fin
Yep.
Fang Foom in that. Then it led to like Bendis's reign at Marvel.
well, dude, you talk about a reign. It led into the Secret Invasion, which led into the
Dark
Dark Reign.
Reign. Yep. Yep.
So
Great
that
stuff.
that ending was essential. Um, Gavin says, "I know it's too late for the book club, but y'all need to give Wade Somnicap a second chance. The touring America thing is like 2 issues before it all shifts." I think Tyler's a fan of that.
It's a good run.
I
Yep.
wasn't interested in seeing Captain America walk around. I was traumatized by what JMS had done with Superman, so I wasn't here for all that.
Superman Grounded by JMS. It has Cap just riding a cool Harley in that book, drawn by Chris Samney. So that's enough. I'm good. I like it.
Tilo says, I would have rather Cap lose than surrender. But lose like how? Like be like killed, be defeated physically in battle. I don't know if and if I like how does that help? I don't know if that helps. I don't know. I don't know how that's better. Like, it doesn't make a statement. Like, if Captain America physically loses, okay, he lost a fight. But if he gives up, that makes a statement. I think I think that, like, you have to understand that, like, storytelling is all about moments and statements and ideas. It's not about who wins in a punchy fest, right? Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Cap losing is definitive. Cap surrendering continues that discussion about who was right
Yep.
past the end of Civil War,
Yep.
which is what that whole book was about. It's about fans, even the ideology is differing in the fandom based on whose side is whose. And having an ending like that really kind of just opens up the discussion even past the book.
That's why we're still talking about it right now, you know? So yeah. All right. We've got a couple more things to do here. Remember that, there's always another week. We are going to be here live with you all throughout the week and next Saturday to talk about all the stuff we didn't get to and more. But what I have to do right now is say thank you to the rest of our patrons. These are the patrons who are in the Palsverse tier that support us, that show up for us. We appreciate you all so much. Patreon.com/thecomics The Grand Alchemist, Chop Harder Alchemist, John, Barrier B, Doomsday, David Melendez Doria, Steve Swarm Canarius, Panda V Panda, Ted Wong, Mad Max, The Absolute Overthinker, Blur, Jekyll Jose, Kobe the Crafter, Scriptured, The Wardens of the Word, Hecatron, The Hate Machine, Amin, Almighty Perez, Houston, the Century Kid, I believe is what Marco. I gotta write that down. Houston Murphy, the Century Kid, Electrix, your origin is impending. Today, Lucas Holner joined us, so your origin is impending as well. But I have the pleasure of reading to you now the origin story of our latest patron, Jasper the Gasper, Eddie. Have you ever been so angry you wanted to scream, yell at the top of your lungs so loud that the heavens might hear you? Wanted your voice to be heard, to let people know how their words hurt you? Words hurt. Yep. Yep. The loud sound of Jasper's hiccups emanated from the back of class, so loud they even drew the ire of the teacher. "Oh God, Jasper the Gasper is at it again," one classmate said, sending many of the students into fits of laughter. All at Jasper's expense. Laughter can be beautiful or cruel, depending on whether you're being laughed with or at. In Jasper's case, it was always at. His chronic hiccups made him the subject of everyone's jokes. At school, at home, it was always the same. He'd been to doctors about it to no avail. But sure enough, anytime he was anxious, excited, or stressed, his condition was sure to flare up. Right now, he was anxious. Anxious about the laughs and looks, because he didn't know how much longer he could take being the butt of the joke. The Gasper nickname would follow him throughout the rest of his youth and beyond. Jasper struggled with being taken seriously at work, getting dates, even making friends. As depressing as that was, the cruel irony is that when he was alone and felt safe, the hiccups were minimal. His therapist suggested forms of yoga and martial arts to teach him breathing techniques and body control, things that might help him regulate himself. It was hard, but over time, Jasper did start to develop some control over his hiccups. That came from the mind and body control he learned from martial arts, coupled with his growing self-confidence. As long as he remained calm and present in the moment, he could manage himself. Jasper walked home one night after practice and came upon a scene. Two men with bats were menacing a couple in an alleyway. Jasper had seen the explosion of violence over the last few months. Part of his motivation to aggressively build his body was wanting to be able to defend himself and others the way he couldn't defend himself as a kid. Now, unexpectedly, he would have to use what he was learning. "Hey, leave those people alone. It's not too late to stop this and go home." The men turned around and leered at Jasper. They didn't have the red eyes associated with Amin's mind control. These men were doing what they wanted to do, and they enjoyed it. "Oh, what do we have here? A do-gooder?" It wasn't too late for you to go home. You could have kept walking. Wait. Hold on. Are you? Holy shit. Are you Jasper? Yo, I went to school with this guy. Jasper the Gasper. You still go by that? Jasper saw red. He hadn't been called that name in years. It was the name that ruined his childhood and haunted his adulthood. Don't say that fucking name! The men turned on Jasper and approached him. Jasper the Gasper, I can't tell you how good it feels to see you again. I have been waiting for this moment. See this bat? It should have your name on it. They swung their bats in his direction and caught him right in the stomach, causing him to let out a massive gasp. He fell to the floor. The men watched and laughed at Jasper. Jasper the Gasper. Oh, you're still at it, Jasper. Jasper rose to his feet, anger and pain driving him. Don't say that. And he let out a yell that felt like years of pressure that had built up inside of his body finally being let out. And when he did that, the men's bodies were buffeted by the loud sound, so loud that it caused their bones to break inside their bodies. The windows of the buildings adjacent shattering. Jasper looked on at the scene in horror. He couldn't believe what he had just done. What? Oh my God, I didn't mean to. Oh my God, what happened? And he ran away. Jasper ran away. He ran home, horrified that he had just murdered two men accidentally. What's next for Jasper? What does one do with a power like this? How do you prevent yourself from killing everybody that you talk to? Well, that's for Jasper to figure out. But I'll tell you one thing. Nobody's going to call him the Gasper anymore. Thank you so much, Jasper, for joining the Palsverse.
I mean, we're gonna call him that. That's his Patron name. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Did he kill the guy getting mugged?
No, of course not, because then that would, he'd have to be a villain.
Sure, so that guy got away. Safe.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of glass shattered on him. So this is like a vibrational shriek thing that like doesn't stop. It's like Black Canary in a way, but it like vibrated this dude's bones.
Yeah. I actually I've done a couple of bullying ones in a row, but this one it has nothing to do. I don't know if Jasper had an experience like this as a kid, but I grew up with asthma, and I got bullied in a similar way.
Dude, you screamed so loud when Jasper's powers came out that your mic just stopped picking up your voice.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Whoops.
You peaked beyond peak.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I didn't hear it. Yeah.
That is a new record, by the way, for the amount of people that heard this origin. I appreciate you all so much for sticking around. These are a labor of love. They take effort, and so for me, getting to be heard by you all when I do these means the world. So thank you so much. Mike Hanks says that was really good, genuinely. Thanks, Mike. There's no bigger compliment you could pay me. Thank you. Uncanny Suit says Sean is committing to the bit. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. If you want your own origin, patreon.com/thecomicspals is the only way to get it. This is how I express my creativity and my writing. So if this appeals to you at all and you want an origin, it doesn't even need to be from me. If you don't want that, let us know. Please join us up. Patreon.com/thecomicspals.
Yeah, feel free to ask if you want one of Marco's. Feel free to ask him. Cale writes, I write. Feel free.
Thanks for the compliments, guys. Nier says fire. Lucas Holner says that was great. Phenomenal AC. Hey, what's up, Phenomenal AC? Good to see you. That sounds like a book I'd read. Well, you know what? Maybe one day it will be. The sky's the limit for us around here at Pals HQ, and that is because of you all. So thank you so much for your support. Today has been an incredible stream. You guys have been phenomenal to us. It means the world, and I hope that we can keep this momentum going throughout the week. Monday, Pals Previews drops at 1 p.m. Watch it. Get us over 1K. That's my goal. That's my goal. I want that doing 1K every time it drops. Tuesday, Captain America Book Club. I want record attendance, 6 p.m. Eastern. We've all read it. We've all read it. Show up. Let's do it.
Even if you don't have time to read it, you've watched The Winter Soldier. You know thematically what things are about. It might be a good enough book club to check out, going in blind too, to make you want to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Wednesday, Pals Pulls. We got big books to talk about. Watch Pals Previews to find out what books. You can guess because there's some big books coming out this week. And then after that, we'll be right back here on Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern for this main show. Tyler and I will be on Near Mint Thursday. I'll be there as well on Tuesday. This is a pal-centric week. You don't want to miss out. We'll hit a few more comments before we get out of here. Shu Patel says, "How do you guys go about writing these origins?" I mean, quite frankly, the process is somebody signs up for the Patreon. I message them to talk. Generally, I message them. I don't absolutely get to it every single time, but I message them to say, "Hey, is there anything you want to request?" Most of the time, people don't have any input, and so I just come up with whatever speaks to me, whatever's on my mind lately, whatever seems fun. It's probably the same way you would go about creating a character for a story you were trying to tell. Storytelling is it's the thing I care about most in my life. And so I put my heart and soul into it because this is the only avenue that I get to express that. And so I do my best to tell stories that you guys will like because you're paying for them. All right. All right. Thank you guys so much. Great stream. We love you. We will see you all throughout the week. Don't let us down. You never do. You never ever do. Thank you. We love you. Take care.